Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Laureli Shimayo, and this is MeWe Fairs for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Pacific Northwest, many online. Today's our Online Awakening panel. Our panels have themes, and today's theme is Secrets, Skeletons, and Taboos. There are currently 4 of us. There might be a 5th person joining us on the panel tonight. We will be introducing ourselves so you get to know who we are and talking about the theme. It's free to be here to listen and learn, and there's a small price for asking questions of the panel. It's 20 to 28 sliding scale and $12 for BIPOC folks as a step of making reparations. You can ask questions that have to do with the theme today, and you can really ask a question about anything. We love addressing all kinds of different questions. We're happy to be here with you and support you, whatever your journey is. There are a few things I'll share too before we start answering questions. And for now, I think it's great to just jump in and we'll start sharing about who we are and what we do. We've got Gina joining us for the first time tonight on one of our panels. And then RoseMarie, is this your first one or you haven't been with us quite a while at a panel? Let's get you unmuted. Is that your first one?
This is my first panel, yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we've got 2 that are new, and then DoveLight and I have been at this for a while. All right, this is very exciting, and I see many of our practitioners in the audience also. It's the very first time that we've talked about this theme, and so we're excited to explore this with you. All right, DoveLight, we'll have you go first. Tell us about who you are, all the things you do, and it's fine to start talking about the theme, and we're going to come back and talk about the theme afterwards too. So go ahead and sprinkle some things in, and I know Gina can't help but talk about the theme. You'll see why when Gina describes what she does, and yeah, so we'll come back and deepen our context of the theme as we go. DoveLight.
Hello, everybody. My name is DoveLight, and I'm just a regular person who was eating dinner, but now I'm done. My honor and blessings to be here in your presence. I'm DoveLight from DoveLightOracle.com. I have a special of a coupon 2024, any reading for the new year. I do have a passion to read tarot and oracle card, but it's not just tarot and oracle. It's also I work with the divine insight. And I also do sessions like past regression, ancestral healing, shamanic healing. I love working with the light. I love working with the angelic realm. The process that I went into my healing journey was to heal myself. And even though it's like we are work in progress, we always learning something new about ourselves. My path has guided me through tools or perhaps things that might help others if you resonate with that. So my readings is more like to see the energy, how is it, where is it going? And my session is more have to shift it, how to change it, what needs to be aware. In many of my readings, I always get a specific card that talks about things hidden. Might be from other energies, might be from you. But I feel like one of the things that is very important to acknowledge is we are not only flesh and bones, we also our mind, we are also our feelings, we are also our spirit, our joys, what we want to do in life, what we want to go for, our dreams. Those are part of the whole thing that we are. Unfortunately, sometimes we carry burdens that can be very heavy on an energetic field. And those can even suffocate us to the point that we might close up our own voice. We might carry guilt, we might carry fear, we might carry this heaviness that will not allow you to move forward. So this topic is very interesting because sometimes there are things that as a child you learn for the loyalty to your family. There is time to let it go. It wasn't yours to begin with. But sometimes our inner child, believe it or not, might need the permission to let it go. Might need them, I'm still looking for it, but it have to come from you. Other things you are aware, other times you are aware that you might know secrets that are very obvious, like your partner is cheating on you, or perhaps one of your child is doing drugs. And even though it's a scary situation, and I encourage you to go look for the proper guidance, professional guidance for these things, it is very important to be open that it's very obvious. You cannot hide the truth from yourself. It will free you to have the space when you feel ready to acknowledge that truth. So it's very beautiful topic. So my name is DoveLight from DoveLightOracle.com. I'll be answering any type of questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DoveLight. Great to hear about all that you're doing. And we've got Gina next.
Great. Hi, everybody. I'm Gina Nelson. I'm calling in from Portland, Oregon today, where we are thawing out from the ice. And I'm really happy to be talking about this topic. This has been my life's passion. I am a body-mind counselor and energy healing therapist, and I practice a lot of modalities. I've been part of mystery schools, and a lot of my my drive to begin my spiritual journey was from childhood trauma that unfortunately so many of us experience. And through that, I had known that there didn't seem to be a lot of ways to navigate, understand, or manage secrets. And so that began my quest to figure out what are ways that we can understand the territory of secrets before we're ready to reveal. How can we begin healing now before we're even at the point where we would even speak it? With the goal being that every little bit of movement, like DoveLight was talking about, every little piece of movement on that bridge from frozen to alive brings us closer to our integrated self, to our wholeness. And so this idea that we have to wait to talk to a therapist or we have to wait till this moment can really, I believe that can shift, and that this new paradigm of being able to heal now with your own key, with your own recipe, your own agency, and then move along through that. And so that is why I'm here, and I'm looking forward to this conversation with all these wonderful people and hearing from all of you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Gina. Great to have you on the first panel with us. And RoseMarie.
Gina, I just want to say I love that you're from Portland. I'm also from Portland. So I just get excited when I hear what the community is that we have here. I'm RoseMarie Davis. I'm the Avisha, or primary teacher for Dragon Mastery LLC, where we teach spiritual healing, spiritual awakening, and lifestyle. Our primary focus is to bring personal mastery into your life using the esoteric sciences. We offer a variety of services, from one-to-one counseling, workshops or group sessions, live events, as well as lifestyle products. We are introducing our first meditation and visioning kit, which I'm really excited about. We have it on our website, but it's working its way through Amazon. So it'll be available on Amazon very soon. So I'm really excited about that. However, our goal is to help you apply the Hermetic principles to your daily life. You know, how to bring that all is mind concept into what you think and do on a regular basis. My background is martial arts when it comes to personal mastery. I taught martial arts for almost 25 years. This wasn't the journey that I started on. However, I appreciated more helping people break through their preconceived limitations. And then when I came at my crossroads, when I needed to decide what is it that I wanted to do with the rest of my life, something most of us do at 8, something said, RoseMarie, this is where you're supposed to go. And when I said, okay, then teachers started coming to me, giving me information that was pertinent to where folks were in their life. And it was kind of strange because it seemed like I'd be in the middle of a conversation and then something would come up that reinforced what we were talking about, which let me know that I was on the right track. And then I met folks like Laureli that let me know that there were people that I needed to connect with. So I'm excited to be here. I think the skeletons and secrets and taboos that we have within us help shape who we are. And I think our goal is to help break through those things and use those to help us move forward and develop the life that we want. Those are skills that we can learn from. So I'm excited to be here and can't wait to get started.
Thank you so much. Great to have you. So we may be joined by Julianne, who is the spiritual Empress, and she does holistic and intuitive tarot reading, healing, and coaching. I've also reached out to a couple other practitioners to see if someone else might be able to join us tonight. And I know the 4 of us are going to have a really rich panel if we are the 4 that are holding space for you. And we do already have a question in line also. Very excited about that. So I'm Laureli Shimayo. In addition to running the panel, I'm also an intuitive eye reader, body psychology coach, and matchmaker. I use my body psychology work for this topic more than the other things. So some of the things I look at are, is it a secret or is it really something sacred? Things that are sacred, they might be held privately, and we are more alive because of that. Whereas when something is a secret, it pulls down our energy. It's weight that we are carrying, it's a burden. And so it's up for you to discern what really is this. And then what do you do once you notice that it's there? I love that Gina, for example, is bringing in so many different tools of what to do before we actually might share or reveal the secret. Sometimes just not carrying it anymore doesn't mean that we have to share what it is. It's just not carrying it anymore, letting that go. Sometimes it's telling the person and handing it back to them. I'm not responsible for this anymore. Or it's sharing with other people that are alive that know about it, that they already know that it's speaking to them, and having space where it's finally in the space between us. Like I would say, for example, just personally, my mom, and this is a bigger share, so you're ready. My mom ended her life when I was in my 20s, and we actually, my dad, my brother, and I never talked about my mom's struggles together with each other until after she died. It was like this big secret in the family, and so it was impacting all of us in really big ways, directly or indirectly, and we never said it. So just having something be in the space and not holding it in our bodies, not holding it in our energy is just so important. And being with whatever the feelings are about this, about having held it and releasing, and being with the waves of what's here. All of this is just so important. There are tons of ways to explore things today. Gina has lots of tools of talking about things without talking about things. We can have code words for things. I use tools in my authentic relating work called gibberish, where we can talk about it as still express emotionally, even though we don't share any content of what anything's about. So I'm so excited about this topic. I don't remember all of DoveLight. Do you remember, where did this topic come from? Maybe I invented it from something, or did it come from a conversation with some of us? I just don't know, but I'm so excited to do this, and they seemed like a bunch of great things to put together. And I don't remember if anyone said this already, like ancestral, like way back, we can be carrying things energetically, and cords that we have attached to us, like so much. That's what all this is about. So let's, I'm just gonna like wander this around into more rounds of talking about the topic. I'm sure as each of us say things, we think of more things to say. So we'll spend a bit more time here just in the topic of taboos, secrets, and skeletons, and then we'll be answering questions. We do have one person in line. I'll put the information in the chat again about how to get in line to ask a question. We do ask that you pay first. It's 20 to 28 sliding scale, or $12 for BIPOC folks. As a step of making reparations, you choose what you pay. And let us know if you've paid so that we get you in line. I do have that one person already. I know I had a notification on my phone, and you can come up here on the spotlight with us and be on stage with us. Notice that it is recorded, so it's up to you if you want to do this publicly like this, or if you want to just speak from not being on spotlight. You also can even change your name and not be on video. And if you want, you can even just write me your question, and and I'll read it out from chat. Tons of ways to honor you and how we answer questions today. It can be on the theme, and it can be on anything. And oh yeah, so let's see. So, and go ahead, let Gina, and practitioners, we didn't go over all this in the beginning, but in general, when we're answering questions, and yeah, Agnes, you were the first one in line. When we're answering questions, raise your hand in chat to let me know that you're ready to answer, and you'll have, 3-ish answers. If there are only 3 of us, we can do 3-4-minute answers. We can do longer answers. And just if you're going over at any point, I feel like I want to rotate the energy around, I'll just do a version of this and let you know that, just to finish up where you are, no rush. But yeah, let's go ahead. We'll go to Gina, and then we'll go back to DoveLight, and then after RoseMarie, and we'll swirl around talking about the topic. Go ahead, Gina.
Perfect. Yeah, one thing I always like to mention, and I do it for myself as well in a new situation, is to make a conscious decision about how I want to approach the topic. And so, especially in a topic like secrets and skeletons, a lot of times even the word secret can make people compress, right? There can be a threat by even saying the word. Hearing the word, thinking about the word, even if there's no intention or someone trying to get that information for you, even if you know you're safe. And so I feel like in the topic, and especially something like this, if we can make a decision for ourselves of how we want to take in the information that feels safe to our nervous system, then we can really, really appreciate being getting the most out of this. And so I just recommend people can think about, if they want to take this information in through their mind, like a curious observer, a bird's eye view, if you want to take it in with a coat of armor on, if you want to check in that you feel good now, but maybe in a few minutes something comes up and you feel yourself close up, noticing that and allowing yourself to go in and out of the place that feels safe, because all of this information that we're talking about can be triggering, And so allowing our nervous system to feel calm and giving ourselves that permission to go from bird's eye view to maybe more intimate is, I think, a very important tool to have to be using.
I love that too. Is if someone wants to ask a question too, like if this is just going this deep in it and this like way deep in it, people can give us guidance using a rating tool like on the screen of like, I want to go in just this much right now. And then as you get more comfortable talking about it, if that happens, you can say, okay, this far. And oh yeah, we're open to feedback. And that's part of how I'll set the stage too. I think my dog is wanting to come in the front door. So I'm going to hand the microphone up to someone else and go run and check on her. Like DoveLight, just more, anything you want to share about the theme?
Oh, thank you for saying at the beginning to everybody that they have the option to change their names, to write it in the chat, to this and that. If there is a message that is meant for you that will resonate with your soul, it will come for you, even if you say dot or turn off your video or anything. One of the most important things to understand in my little perception, it's that it is okay to allow yourself to feel safe. Some people hold secrets because it's not safe to tell them to others, to express them. And in a way, that's a form of self-protection. And if that's the best you could do at the time in your life when you were able to do so, then that's great. That's okay. No guilt, no shame. And there is other people that happens the opposite, that they might be able to hold secrets because they were protecting somebody else. So having secrets per se, it's not good or bad. But if it comes with an emotional charge or something that is not letting you breathe, something that keeps in the back of your mind, something that doesn't let you date somebody or go for a career or some self-sabotage, then is when we're asking you, if it resonates with you, to allow yourself a safe space, the freedom to feel if it's worth continue living like that. It's about allowing yourself the freedom to choose if you feel safe enough to let it go, because we understand that there is a variety of type of secrets, a variety of diverse hidden things that might actually help us survive by hiding them. So it's not about judgment, it's not about who did wrong or who did bad, even though there's people who are responsible for something. It's about you owning the right to live your life in a way it's more healthier, more free. It's about you. It's about you, because you are the one who's carrying the burden, and you are the one who's choosing to keep it, and you are the one who will choose to let it go or to continue living like that. It's all about going to how safe you feel, how comfortable you feel, and how much you're allowing yourself to live with those secrets. For example, many of us as children didn't have nobody to tell them about our spiritual gifts, Oh, I see somebody there. Now it's a ghost. Oh, I can hear something from that. Oh, no, you're dreaming. It doesn't matter. So we have been born in cultures where it's not safe to talk about things, especially here in the Western. It's not safe to talk about that. And that doesn't make us better or worse having these spiritual gifts or experience, but it can grow us with a sense of confusion, like it's something wrong with me, or there is nobody to talk to, that's not okay. So there is many examples like that when we can understand the beauty that you have as an adult to be your own parent and to be the guidance in your life, when you can allow a safe expression. And it doesn't have to be with words, it could be like through art, through dancing, through cooking, through breathing. Thank you.
Thanks so much, DoveLight. And I have learned that we will be joined by Crystal Novak in about 10 minutes. So we'll have a fifth practitioner joining us shortly. RoseMarie, yeah, there's more you want to share about the topic.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I like to talk about when we came to this matrix as children, because we came in with full potential and a desire to express our individuality and our creativity and love and so on. But we move into different family situations, community situations that may injure us early. And so the secrets that we hold within about who we are and the friends and so on that we love, the taboos that we shouldn't be expressing this type of energy, or you want to sit in the corner, you want to be quiet, or just the desires that you want to have and express, but it's not accepted by the community. Those are the things that we hold inside that keeps us from growing and becoming the blossom and full potential that we're here to be. And so having skeletons in your closet, having secrets and taboos, that is natural. The goal is to be able to break through those things and break those shackles so they're not holding you back. We're all going through various aspects. You know, being human means we're going to have loss, means that we're going to have moments of joy. We should have people that we love, but we might be hurt because we chose the wrong one. Do we allow that to keep us from allowing ourselves to express it with another, or are we carrying baggage because we're afraid to get hurt again? The goal in getting past those skeletons and taboos is learning how to work with them. And there's some difficulty, like, you know, Laureli, you experienced something that's very tragic, and no child, no matter how old you are, can just get past that. But like you said, just being able to talk to your brother because it was a tragedy that you shared. And before you spoke, it was a wedge that just kind of held you apart, that it wasn't something that I didn't like you for, I didn't trust you about, but it was there. It was that elephant in the room that until you're able to absolve it within you and then communicate it with another, that you are able to move past that. And you probably still haven't. You're probably still working on it, because that's a major one. I've known some folks that have lost people by suicide. And, you know, they always wonder, what could I have done? What did I didn't see? But see, those are the fears that we hold inside, that we could have done something more, or that others will judge us for. And one of the things that we need to learn to is to love ourselves and be able to express that love and let those things go. Take the lessons that we learn from those and apply them to our future, and then be able to remember we are loving, loved, and we deserve love. And so that's what I want to express here today, and help folks work through those things that they need to work through.
Yes, that's great. Yes. I'm lucky. For me, for example, this piece with my mom, she died, it'll be 30 years ago this year. So I've had lots of time to be with this, and every time I talk about it, like, there's that much more healing, because I'm able to see that I'm able to stay present in my body, or more present in my body than I was the last time I talked about things. So yeah, layers and layers and layers, all these things. But some of the, I had other early life trauma too, and some of mine triggered my mom. So I learned from a really young age, never talk about it. And so I didn't even recognize it as trauma until I was in my 30s and finally doing some of my own healing. So just so many layers of all the things that we go through. Just so many things. When our parents often have difficulties with each other, and we're not supposed to talk about that outside the family. Just everybody and all this, whether it's like a smaller trauma and a bigger trauma, there's just so much that we're having to hold. Even just something happens with friends as kids, when we feel shame about that, that's usually stuff that we shame in general is a big part of this squashing everything in. So yeah, just so much. Like, so the more that we're able to move as we talk about all this, and take breaths and flow with the energy of whatever's happening in us, moving your jaw, right? All this helps get this energy moving through you, so you're not feeling stuck. All right, and I know Crystal Novak is going to be here soon, and we've got Agnes in line. And yeah, Agnes, I was asking you by text if you can wait until Crystal arrives and introduces herself so she could hear your question. I think that'd be great. So yeah, if you need to go sooner, let me know. But if you can wait, that would be great. Yeah, so
The one
DoveLight,
thing I was gonna,
or Gina, yeah, go ahead.
oh, yeah, I was just gonna bring into this conversation off of what you were saying, is that so many of us growing up, our parents didn't understand healthy boundaries. They didn't understand or what the difference between a private life, or the right to a private life, or the burden of a secret, and the differences of those things were. And so many of us haven't learned that I never knew until recently that I had a right to a private life. I didn't, that was never in my realm of what I watched growing up, what I then learned, and then how I operated as an adult. And so that fits into secrets, because sometimes when we don't have a sense of what a healthy boundary is, or a healthy sense of self, or permission to explore ourselves, then sometimes it can get really confusing what we're holding as a secret and what we may just be holding because it is part of our own journey that nobody else needs to know about. And something you said, Laureli, about the sacredness of that intimate journey that we have with our own spirituality or with whatever that is. And so just bringing that part of boundaries, a right to a private life, and the differences of the shame or guilt of a secret, I think makes, will be part of, what we talk about tonight, because it really does show up so many places.
Yeah, like a simple example of something that might be sacred and private would be secret names that partners have for each other, right? And that's something that they hold that's precious, that they only share with each other. And then, yeah, we have tons of examples of secrets that might be a challenge. And I, for example, again, I'm just using myself as example. So growing up, I wasn't taught healthy boundaries either, like lots of ways that my boundaries were not honored. And one example is that my bedroom door, I had to have it open all the time. I wasn't allowed to close it. It's kind of wild and crazy, right? So yeah, physical privacy. And so it impacts all sorts of layers. And so in some ways I'm certainly more sharing about personal things than a lot of people are. And so in a way that I might not have healthy boundaries, but then I carrying all these secrets for other people. So where I have different standards for them that I have for myself, like there's so many rich learnings. Yeah, that like I have and that we all might have. Yeah, so we are waiting for Crystal before we dive into the first question. But yeah, DoveLight or RoseMarie, if there's anything else you want to share about the theme, please feel free and jump in. Yeah, we have lots of crystals in the room, exactly.
I'll just speak a little bit about it. It may not even be something that has been necessarily traumatizing, but it's been built on comments, thoughts, and feelings that you may have had. I was very blessed. My mother came from a background to where it was a small community because they traveled. They left Texas when my parents were young with their siblings, and it was just the family. And they traveled as my grandfather worked. So they were a very small community. So they were used to going out and supporting one another, and only had friends. We had a lot of friends growing up. My grandfather was very respected. So I was fortunate that my mother said, well, if you want to do it, go ahead and try. So she never said I couldn't. However, because my mother was an African-American woman from Texas in the coming up this way from the 50s, she had certain ways of thinking about things and the African-American role in communities and so on. So she didn't hold anything against me because I was very outgoing. I was extrovert. Well, how do you do that? I want to do this. So she never stopped me, but she always kept that little thing going in your mind. You're an African-American woman. You're going to be treated a certain way, So when I came out into the world, I had my home life, my safe life, but then I had a certain way I had to act in public, so that I didn't get categorized. But see, that's also a fear and a taboo. I didn't want people to think of me the way they had, put African-American people in a box and said, this is how you're supposed to behave. This is how you act. This is how you achieve. This is how you think. So even those taboos, just trying to break what you think other people think about you, and then once I got rid of that, that thought that I had to adhere to what someone thought I should be, it does give you a bit of freedom. However, it also gives you a little bit of responsibility, because then you have to decide, well, what is it that you want to be? You can't just respond to everything. And then when you do respond, how do you do it in a way that's self-fulfilling to you and not hurtful, or actually help someone else through what they're going through? I had a sister-in-law, and she had, a lot of issues that she had growing up. And when she got pregnant, she was terrified. And the question she was asked, I was thinking was, oh, this is just so off the wall. How could it be? But that was because I came from a different place. And it took some understanding in myself to realize I was doing her a disservice, because if she cared enough to ask, then she trusted me, because she asked me something that to me seemed ridiculous. But she had to break through her own fears to do that. And it could be something as simple as just how to get through, something that you're going through the day, or something you're not familiar with. And a lot of us, when you walk into a room and you're expected to do something, you're thinking, well, what do I do? What if they don't like me? you know, and a lot of that is self-fulfilling. We've been talking to ourselves that way since we were children, and we really do have to learn how to re-talk to ourselves. And that's the biggest challenge. That's the big, because it's a conscious thing you got to do all the time, because we're communicating with ourselves all the time, and 90% of it is negative.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
the main.
Even just like the themes of MeWe panels, like I've thought about like how far do I venture into things talking, connecting to politics? How much do I avoid that? What are the impact? So I've approached a lot of things indirectly. Yeah, DoveLight, go ahead, and then we were getting joined by Crystal, so we'll have her introduce herself shortly.
Yeah, from a spiritual or energetic point of view, as many of us know, as children, it's we're don't have a sense of self yet, or something we're trying to figure it out where we are, how we fit. But from a biological, there is like a survival sense when you know that you have to be part of a family, you have to be part of something, like your mom or your dad or your caregiver is called almost like that, because you have this sense that survival they need to be part of because you're still, small. And this is why sometimes, unfortunately, many of kids, they grow up feeling like they have a sense that something is not right, something is wrong, but they choose to protect the family or to have a loyalty to, it's like an unconscious loyalty they have to the ancestral field to keep certain secrets for outsiders to know. And they do this because they feel like they're protecting their family. So it is when we're working with shamanic healing journeys, for example, a lot of times we have to go energetically, we have to go back to their inner child, because that energy part in their field is still stuck in the past. So it's still stuck in the past, and we have to convince it that in a healthy way that it's not in their place. That's the mom and that's the child. That's the father, that's the son. This is so everything has a place. A child should never be the caregiver of an adult, and it sometimes happen like that, unfortunately. But you start carrying not only the burden, the responsibility, and the loyalty, which at that moment that was what it was. But now in the present, as an adult, you might unconsciously be carrying the same patterns. And from an energy point of view, that's when you go back to your inner child or the past to untangle it, so you can release that loyalty. You can still be of service to the ancestral field without sacrificing yourself for others. And I just wanted to honor that, because children are very innocent. We learn, they're learning, they're discovering, they are very, from their heart, they're very loving. So sometimes they just normalize these things, oh, that's what everybody's doing, it's normal, it's what's supposed to be doing as well. So that type of awareness, it's very important.
Well, thank you so much. And we've been joined by our fifth panelist tonight, Crystal Novak. Crystal, we've gone through and introduced ourselves and talked about the theme a bit. The theme tonight is secrets, skeletons, and taboos. So feel free, please, to introduce yourself and chat about the theme and this perspective that you bring to it. I know, not knowing the things that we've already talked about before. And we do have one person in line. So take your time, introduce yourself, and then we'll be jumping right into a question afterwards.
Perfect. Thank you, Laureli. Hello, everyone. My name's Crystal Novak. I'm a psychic reader, conscious channel, and I also do energy work. I've been doing this work of service for a little over 40 years. I work with source. I get downloads of information, or sometimes it's claircognizance, sometimes it's clairaudience, sometimes it's clairsentience, clairvoyance. So those clairs are working all the time. The information comes in, I kind of interpret it, and then I translate it so that I can make it available to you in that moment, whatever that particular thing is that we're looking at. Or sometimes it's new information that comes in because Spirit says, I want this person to have this information now. So that's me. Insofar as this evening's topic, I caught the tail end of what DoveLight was referring to. So if I have repeat what other people have already shared, yeah. Okay. Secrets, taboos, that type of thing. my experience with that in my own personal experience and also in doing this work for all this number of years is they're usually a way to control people. If someone does something to you, especially when we're children, because we have no way to stop these behaviors from happening. When we get here, we're barely a brain stem. So we are looking for tons of information and bonding with our caregivers. We're hardwired for that. And we are asking them to provide us with the rules of the game. What do we do to be here? What do I have to do so that I'll get your attention? What do I have to do so that you'll love me and care for me and keep me a safe space? And since we have no point of reference, we have no dull experience, whatever we get shown, then that's the truth. I mean, you can tell a little kid about, and hopefully I don't spoil this for anyone, about Santa Claus, and they will believe you. And we do all this stuff to even make it seem more real. Like, here's the elf on the shelf. We're going to leave out carrots for the reindeer, that kind of thing, or the tooth fairy. So we present all this information as if it's the truth, and we're all going along with it. So kids have no idea about what's true and not true. And a lot of times inappropriate trespass is presented as, don't tell anyone. It's our little secret. Okay, I want you to love me, so I will keep our little secret. Unfortunately, it creates tremendous damage in here because it's a lie. And we don't know any better that it's a lie, but it sits within us and it's feels icky and it doesn't resonate with our own inner divinity. And it's almost like it's an allergic reaction, and we keep we're reacting to this foreign negativity that's been introduced to our system. So I go back again to, if you're being told to keep a secret, and I mean, like, don't tell mom I got this flowers for her birthday tomorrow. I mean, that you're supposed to appropriately say that's going to be a surprise for her, not a secret. But stuff like that, secrets where people know they are trespassing, they know they are doing the wrong thing, and then they come up with ways to keep you from exercising your own individual power to bring those situations out into the light, to be seen, to be spoken about. And then, of course, the worst part about that is if you do bring it up, depending on how invested everybody else is keeping the wheels on this whole family dynamic, you might get told that you're making it up. You might get it minimized. You might be told that, or a family member says, that's what happens in our family. That's just Uncle so-and-so. That's just Auntie so-and-so. Oh, they just do that. It doesn't mean anything. So a great deal of our adult life, if you will, to me at least, is looking at all those secrets and taboos and skeletons, or whatever you want to call them. And some of them are legacy burdens. They've been handed down through generation from generation through our lineage. And some are more pernicious than others. To me, our purpose, one of the purposes here on our path, is to let go of that which isn't authentically ours anymore. I'm not going to carry that garbage around for somebody else because it's destroying me. I can't live a lie and feel good inside. And that's what part of the deeper work is, that I'm assuming, I haven't met you other practitioners except for DoveLight and Laureli, but good evening. I'm assuming part of the reason you're here on this panel is because you share those same ideas and you're offering that same level of validation and witnessing to those in the audience that either have had this experience or are potentially going to be asking questions about this experience. We are individuated sparks of the divine, and we are here to gain experience, and we are here to have the human experience, but also remember our divinity, remember who we are. And each one is a resonance of the divine. I vibrate at Crystal Novak level, more wobbly on some days than others, but man, that's where I'm vibing at, and that's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming to clear and to become the best me I can possibly be, the best version of me today in this moment now that I can be. And that means no secrets, no lies, no taboos, no skeletons. Ain't having it, ain't doing it, ain't supporting it. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, it was very intense. At one point, I had to go to court and testify against my father. That was fun. Kind of, no, but yeah, it's still, I had to do that. It was mine to do. And I felt important about doing it because I wanted to support the other people that he had trespassed against. And I didn't want there to be a continuation of this. And I didn't care what the rest of his family thought or what anybody else thought. Yeah, it was scary, but blank, 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 I did it and I would do it again. It needs to be changed, and that's what many of us are here to do. Many of the people that I work with are here to clear legacy burdens this go round. So I think a lot of us signed up for the whole big shift that's happening on the planet to be here to do this level of work. So thank you for your graciousness of allowing me all this time, Laureli, to let me speak to this. And I'll get off the soapbox and sit down, and we can go on with the rest of our evening here.
It's great. Thank you so much, Crystal. I appreciate you being here so much. I appreciate your directness and clarity. It's great for all the rest of the practitioners too, having heard, right, all the rest of us share and what you bring. And I love that you gave just the example of like Santa Claus, how we're supposed to keep whatever in the family that someone has set up. And then whenever we go into someone else's family, we're supposed to figure out without asking anything, what does this other family's tradition do and not cause any mess in their family? Oh, all the things that we hold culturally, right? These burdens. Pretty wild and crazy. Oh, for those of us that celebrate those things, right? What even does a family celebrate? We don't know. Yeah, the things we're supposed to not talk about, but somehow know. Well, let's see. So we're getting ready to leap in to a question. Oh, and maybe I want to say too, just for context, so that Crystal, so that you know a little bit too. RoseMarie has been part of the community for many years and has participated in fairs in person. It's the first time jumping in online. And then Gina is with us for the first time, and her specialty of all of her work is secret keeping. And so that's why she decided to jump in and join us on this panel. So, and DoveLight, as you know, like addresses so many different things in so many great ways. Well, we've got one question in line, and just setting the container for that. I encourage all of you to have something to write and scribble with if you've not been doing this already, particularly just so that you're open and whatever shows up for you, have some notes and drawings. And it's a great opportunity for you to learn, to express, and particularly when we're addressing something that can be so stressful for each of us. And then also, it's a great opportunity to see if the way you would answer the question is similar to the way we answer. You might be having a drawing about something across the room, but somehow that's relevant for the way that we answer. So it's confirmation about opening your intuition and learning to listen to the guidance that comes through you. Also, you're encouraged to learn from all that's asked and all that's answered, whether or not you ask a question. And if you do have something come through that's potentially for the person that asked the question, please, if you could hold it until we're done answering. And then you're welcome to reach out to them and chat privately and ask them if they'd like to hear what came through you. Please honor whatever they share. Please honor whatever they say. They may feel full and not want any more at the moment. It may have come through you for some other reason. And if they want to, please go ahead. Also, when you ask a question, I think this is true all the time when you work with anyone, and particularly when you're doing something like this in public. We deeply appreciate you sharing in public so that we can all learn from what's happening. If we go deeper than you want us to share, or we share about topics that you don't want us sharing about and you want us to stay in some spot, we want to honor you in our answers. So please interrupt us and give us guidance so that we stay in a zone that feels good to you. I also kind of teasing earlier, but like, this deep or like this much or like, really dive in. But like, you can give us guidance in whatever way you want to. Jump in and be verbal, wave your hands, whatever works. We wanna honor you in the way we answer questions. All right, great. So Agnes, I'm going to bring you up. You are the first question. Thank you so much for supporting us with bringing a question to the panel tonight. And what is your question? Oh, let's get you unmuted.
I am so grateful to be here. This has been a journey with the MeWe fair. So a little bit about me. 2022, I was thankful that I was dying due to a health condition, but I chose to stay here. Though, believe me, I was ready to go. because what was drawing me back was phenomenal. And during that journey of choosing to stay here, I was really struggling with, I felt like I was spread eagle straddling two worlds, you know, the earthbound and the spiritual realm. And fortunately, through going to ayahuasca, doing the ceremony, doing a lot of intensive meeting from, you know, doing children of alcoholics and dysfunctional families, trauma therapy with a very, very specifically spiritual minded therapist, and just being willing to understand, okay, I'm here because I need to do my purpose. I couldn't do this to my daughter who's 27, who had to, you know, she went through so many incredible losses of pivotal people, and I wasn't going to be the next one. So, and I've been so grateful because in my search for, okay, how am I going to be here and do my purpose and finish that off before I go back, I went to the MeWe fair. Oh my gosh, did I feel, and I still feel amazing. I still feel amazing. And anyway, long story short, I really love this topic because now that I feel like I have a chapter 2 in my life, and so secrets, skeletons, taboos, I have no problem with that. The thing that my question is, now that I'm here, I feel like some little kid, because I know, not only do I think and feel, I know I'm a spiritual being here having human experience. And I know I'm here for the evolution, you know, of what some souls choose to do. And so I get that, I got it. But the real question is, there's still the ego me that's still here going, when's all this going to show up? You know, when's my purpose going to happen? When I feel like that 3-year-old kid that's like, okay, I'm waiting, but I'm like, but I know spiritually, in my head, I just need to be patient. I need to surrender. I need to just go with the flow and just enjoy all these serendipitous moments that I truly believe I have. And I've done the ancestral healing, and I have to honestly say that my testimony, I felt like I was lifted. You know, when I came back, I always felt like, why do my arms feel so darn heavy? Like somebody's holding on to me, or just like something's around my arms. And then after I did the ancestral healing and all the trauma work and things like that, and the ayahuasca, I feel like my arms are free and I feel super light. So again, how long how do you stay patient? I guess that's my question. How do you stay patient?
And I encourage you to say that in terms of yeah, how do I stay patient?
Yeah.
You might be asking each of us, how do you? You're asking, right?
Maybe that's what I'm asking, because this is kind of like a new, like, it's like walking into, you know, a new classroom, and it's like, oh, this is what this class is about. And I'm just kind of sitting here enjoying everybody's knowledge and perspectives and gifts and things like that. But I'm like, okay, but what about when am I gonna know? You know, I'm trying to sit on my hands, right? Like some, you know, goofy kid, and which is kind of hard because I'm 56. So, but anyway, yeah. So how are there? Do you guys have any suggestions on how do you stay patient and not let the ego go, damn, I'm getting irritated, or damn, Do
Well,
I need to meditate again?
you've got answers because we've got RoseMarie, Crystal, DoveLight, and Gina all in line. All right, here it comes. So RoseMarie's first. So at about 3 minutes, I'll just let you know so that you can finish up. But yeah, we might have a lot of questions and all that. So Agnes gets a nice
Thanks,
long
Laureli.
answer. Go ahead.
Thanks. Agnes, that is amazing. You have become a new child,
Yeah.
ready to discover your world instead of living the world that you were put into. I got a couple of keywords that kept coming up as we were talking. Understanding, being grateful, reconnecting, discovery, and transition. So what that's telling me is that you've gone through a lot of transition in your life, and now you're reconnecting and rediscovering yourself. So I think now it's time to ask yourself some questions, because once you know the question, you'll be able to see the answer. The answer will resonate with you. It's like if you throw something up against the wall and you're not quite sure what you're looking at, and then you say, well, that kind of looks like a head, that looks like maybe a person, that maybe looks like a building. If you can start to imagine what you want your life to look like, once you start doing things, when you reconnect with other people and things come into your life, they'll start to make clear focus for you. Okay. Now, your ego is the thing that keeps pushing you forward. Your ego is your protection. That's the thing that says, you can do it. I can make it. I am good enough. I can do this. I want to do this. So now accept that about yourself and start asking yourself, well, what is it that I want to do? What makes me excited? And this, I believe in journaling to the nth degree. Once you ask those questions, start journaling. And then in a week or so, go back and look at that. Just ask it every day, and you'll start getting little insights. And then you won't have to worry about when will it come, because you'll start seeing little things. And then after you go back about a week or so, you'll think, wow, I'm doing it. It's happening for me. When I started this journey, I didn't know what my goal was. I did martial arts and I was tired of teaching and I wanted to do something else, but teaching kept coming up. But the spiritual aspects of what it was that I needed to go through, I was going through. And as I started journaling and it started detailing what I wanted to do, who I was, I came into a realm where I too met Laureli. And it just kind of propelled me in a space where I woke up one morning and think, wow, not only have I done that, but my business coach says, well, RoseMarie, you've already done this, 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 and this. And I didn't even realize it because I had other things going on in my life that I was focusing on. Those things that I wanted to do, I just kind of did when I had time. But then when I was able to sit back and look at it, I realized, wow, those things happen. It's like drawing something that you want to happen and then leaving it for a month and then coming back and taking a look at it and see how your space has developed because of that drawing. Your mind has put those things into practice for you. So once you know what it is you want, or you have an idea, it doesn't have to be set in stone, but when you know what direction you want to go, like say you want to dance or you want to teach dance, well, it might not just be dancing in a classroom or at a school. It might be you want to do some improv dance, or you want to do classical dance, or traditional dance. There's just so many ways you can go with that a lot of us don't think about. That is kind of bubbling up in us. But because we've been so isolated and trying so hard and fitting into the narrative, we don't really see what our purest potential is. So I think, especially with the transition, I think you're in a fabulous place.
Yeah, I feel really good. I feel like I'm on this wonderful lazy river, but then I'm also looking up and going, okay, so where am I going? I'm enjoying it, but where am I going? I should be enjoying it. But yeah, I appreciate the ego part because I thought I had to let that part go. But now that I look at you're presenting it as something that allows me to push forward. I'm pretty resilient because I did come from a family of high dysfunction and in trauma. And that again was the deep dives to a lot of blockage and healing and forgiveness. So yeah, I'll definitely journal, ask what I want, and get to know kind of the new 2.0 Agnes 2.0.
Great. All right, we've got Crystal in line next.
Hello, Agnes. So my take on this, the information I'm getting is you need to stop feeding your mind with so many different things.
Okay.
It feels like the mental is on spin cycle. And the other piece that's feeding that is when you feel like you're not getting any guidance, you keep looking outside yourself for more answers. And then it's like, is this the right answer? Is this the right answer? Is this the right answer?
Yeah.
So you got to like slow your roll.
Okay.
And you have to get quiet inside so you can actually hear, so you can have the guidance.
So, okay.
Because I feel like they're trying to be in touch with you, but you're not holding still long enough and being quiet enough to let it come through. And actually, it's quite fine to be floating on the river looking up into the sky. You're still on your path. You're still in movement. You're still in flow. Your mind is looking for this to show up in a certain way, and the universe doesn't work like that. I call it, I hear something in the distance. I don't know if it's an ice cream truck or an ambulance,
Yeah.
but I know there's something coming. So my job while I wait is to wait in receptive, joyful patience. Not easy.
Yes.
Not easy.
No.
But there is sacredness in process. If you go beachcombing, do you go when the tide is super high and rushing in? Or do you wait for there to be an ebb and see what's been revealed and left?
Yeah.
So you're really good at running the high tide, but you've got to become in the ebb state, in the divine feminine state, in the receptive state. So that's where you're having that schism, that split. So while you're waiting, as I was always told, I have to do what is mine to do. It's okay, universe. I need guidance today. Go do the dishes. Okay. Go do the dishes. You know, you can just go with guidance throughout your day. You can even create a task list if you want, but then you can ask the universe, what would be a good way for this to unfold? You might feel directed to go to a certain grocery store for some reason. You might not even know what the reason is. Part of the whole thing is letting go of having to have a reason, of letting go of the logic, because the universe doesn't work that way. That's not the way it works. We literally become listening instruments. That is the best thing we can possibly do, is to learn how to listen. And that takes patience. Yeah. So I'm getting the high sign, so I gotta sign off.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. Next we have DoveLight and then Gina.
Oh, I resonate a lot because I was getting surrender. Allow yourself the worthiness of your peace. And this one I got directly in my mind. I have to write it down so I don't forget. Allow yourself the worthiness of your peace, because I definitely see there is a love versus fear, and somehow we're choosing more of the fear side instead of the love, where you're supposed to be doing, you're supposed to be fulfilling, you're supposed to bring in this and that. And that's all in what we believe we're supposed to be doing, instead of allowing yourself to know all the healing that you have passed through, all the memories, all the experience, everything that happens in your journey, somehow, some way, it's going to become a wisdom of what you're meant to be in this planet. Nobody just leaves anything randomly. Even if it looks randomly, everything can potentially be wisdom, teaching, knowledge, healing for your journey. I am very grateful that you are not caught up in the what I'm going to heal next, what I'm going to heal next, way I heal this, now I want to heal next. Beautiful. Don't get caught up in the healing journey in a negative way. What I feel is that here disciplines needs to be done so you can accomplish what your mind needs to be done. Also, you're receiving messages from your ancestors and spirit guides. I definitely can see that you generally know what's forgiveness like, and a lot of healing and self-love into yourself, self-image. And these can potentially, if resonate with you, help others that are emotionally wounded, people who came from dysfunctional families. I can see that there is a possibility that you might be involved in projects or helping people related to how they can create their happy family, their happy ending, their happy space. But it is very important to understand in divine timing. It's not when you just want it because you want it, it's when you are ready. And when you're ready, everything will align up. So I definitely believe that it's beautiful that we have this passion to, no, I know I have to save the world, I have to do this and I have to do that because it's gonna go, and that's beautiful. But it is also come the duality, polarity, that everything has to be with trust and faith, and we have to trust the divine guidance. That's very simple. I would highly recommend you again to go back inside and to listen, and do not put yourself the burden that you are supposed to be doing something or meant to be exactly something very in a fixed way, when the universe might want you to guide you through the things that you love and it resonate with you. You already are in your path. You already are in your legacy. You already has been, they're telling me that you have already done a lot of soul work, a lot of beautiful things that were meant to, because you say yes to that, to forgive. Definitely you're receiving messages from the angels and the spirits that will guide you. I will highly recommend you as well to have a practice to ground and to listen. Just know, but you have to trust that nobody here is going to give you the trust, that you trust that you'll be guided to take action in the divine timing. Nobody's saying be lazy. You are meant to be doing that, but you're also meant to listen and to surrender. Okay, we cannot teach others what we haven't learned ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much, DoveLight.
Thank you so much. I'm a social worker and teacher by trade before all this, so I do need to not try to fix things. Thank you.
All right, and then Gina is next.
Yeah, it's so I love just sitting in all the words as they come through. Agnes, I feel so much of what other people have been saying, and the piece I offer is more of a perspective shift. And that one of the things you said was, on one hand, you feel stuck, right? That you're sitting on your hands. And so when you talked about choosing to come back to this earth, and you use the example of an eagle with one wing in one side and the other wing on the other side, and you made a choice for lots of reasons that your higher self and your spiritual self knew, and was very purposeful. And so connecting with the fact that you did have a purpose that you already have walked into. And so if you imagine the difference between the sitting on your hands, right, which is more of the old world of where you came from, that world doesn't exist anymore. So when you landed again, you didn't land back in the same world. You've been reborn into a new world. And so if you can use that example, that beautiful example of the wings of the eagle, you said they were opened. And if you imagine the difference between your hands, sitting on your hands, or this image, right, that you described of this wingspan, right, that has nothing to do with stuckness and has everything to do with expansion, that vibration, that you holding that vibration as you chose to come back, that is a doing. That is a being, a way of being, that you came back into the world. And so just being in that grace, just being in that higher vibration is a something. And so that whatever those cues are that remind you of that, and floating in that river, you said it could be like being lazy and floating, but that river is grace. And you now know that, and you are that. And so you are the river that you are floating in. And so changing out, it's almost like when you came back to the earth, sometimes we put on the same glasses but those glasses don't work anymore, right? It's almost like putting on those other glasses, that you made a whole connection and contract and decision about how you want it to be. And so really having ways, whether they're pictures in your home or words, that you're constantly seeing the purpose that you're already walking in. That level of vibration is what others were saying, is where the listening and the hearing and the awarenesses are there already. You're there already. And so it's hard in this world, right, to not go back to the old thing, the old ways. And so the more reminders you can have of your journey, and your choices, as you recalibrate, you're recalibrating and shifting, but you're in it already. You're not waiting for something.
Thank you. That everything is all making sense. I needed to hear everybody today. Thank you.
That's great. And let's see, I've got a little bit more too. So what is it like for you to say, Agnes, today I am living my purpose?
Today I am living my purpose. I get like tingles.
So I encourage you every morning, say, today I am living my purpose. And before you go to sleep at night, you can say, today I lived my purpose. So you know that you are already right now.
You. Thanks. I really needed those words to say before going to bed and waking up. Thank you.
And being here asking this question, being the demonstration of this, bringing this to everyone here and all the people watching the recording, you are living your purpose. And there's so many other things that you've done today that are living your purpose. It's for you to know that. And that you could open and cry means you let this touch you, you feel this.
I'm so grateful that I was able to be here to log on and join. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Not just little bits of content. I'll just flow in, go back and listen later. You don't need anything else now. Oh, just being like, how are you having impulses of things that you might do that you're holding back on, that you're discounting, that inside you say, oh no, I couldn't do that yet, or oh no, I'm not worthy or ready, or so start to notice those subtle things so you can let yourself step in and let you do those things and affirm yourself of how you've already been doing those things. You're already ready to do them now. You might already be doing them and just acknowledging you're already doing them. It might be the way that you feel impatient. It might be like such a great thing because I know that part of this journey has been you've been recovering your energy. And if you feel impatient, it might be the signal, oh, I have more energy to do more. And you might be able to let yourself do a little bit more. Not so much that you get exhausted, but more than you're doing now. And it could be that you're thinking it should be hard. And so if it's easy, it must not be that I'm living my purpose. What if it really is just easy? And are you willing to be surprised? Crystal, I think it was Crystal made some references to something like this. Someone did. Going to a cafe or for a walk on the beach, that may be the place where synchrony happens, right? Something opens that you don't anticipate. And so doing the things that even might not look like they're your purpose may be the opening to more and more of your purpose. Yeah. And it looks like others have more to share too. So Crystal and then DoveLight.
So I wanted to build on some of what Gina was sharing with you. You didn't come back the same. But your mind is still catching up to that. And that's another reason why some of the guidance has been to become more quiet so you can hear. It's your mind that's really struggling with this whole transitional thing. And your mind is also worried that you're going to be not human anymore or not part of the group anymore if you really show what's changed for you, and if you really embrace your purpose, there's the fear that you're not going to fit anywhere anymore. And right now you're kind of masking in a way. And the divine is telling me to tell you that that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. When you are in line with yourself, you will be at this frequency that you are going to draw people to you that need to be drawn to that frequency, so that they can be in that energy. And maybe some will stay and maybe some will go, but you will have planted little energy frequency seeds with all these people that you come into contact with. So even if we feel like we're not doing anything every day in the world, when we go out and interact with another person, when we go outside and we are grateful for something, a bird or a view, or got to eat some ice cream or something, all those things are acknowledging the divine and acknowledging the divinity within us. And even though it doesn't seem like a thing or a goal or something that's measurable, there's not a metric assigned to what you do. We're all here tailor-made. Our work is tailor-made for each one of us. No one can walk your path. No one can walk my path, so forth and so forth and so forth. We are individuated sparks of light. And they said, okay, Agnes, here's your script. This is who you're going to be. This is your role. And they're like, be the best Agnes you can possibly be. Just go down there and chew that scenery, get into it, go for it, be Agnes. And that's when we can't have doubt. That's when we have to have faith. You have got to see the candy store before the rest of us.
Yeah.
You have a lot to come back and talk about and share. And even that might be your purpose. So let go of the push on yourself and the hardness on yourself about something has to happen. It has to be this thing, and I need to recognize it. And it's like, no. Allow yourself to be that conduit and just see what comes. Yeah. Let yourself catch up with yourself. Yeah. All right.
Great. I know more of us have more we want to share, and we have 3 more questions potentially in line coming too. So go ahead, DoveLight and RoseMarie, and then we'll be moving on to another question.
I was very happy to hear your affirmation, because it was gonna help me a lot what's even to this day. I don't know my life purpose. Do you know that? I don't even know why I'm here, but I give up. I literally surrender to the idea that I'm supposed to be doing something the way that I think I'm supposed to do something. And I'm just gonna live one day at a time, doing the best I can to allow myself some peace. Nothing in this freaking world it's worth taking away from your peace. Nothing, nada, not even yourself, not even anything. So what I was picking up a lot of fear when I was reading you, love over fear. So please know in your heart that you are good enough to do what you're meant to be doing in this planet. Why? Not every single soul frequency in this planet is going to hear the same message from the same person, because we cannot put every single soul, any single experience, any single life in the same box. We all different. Many of us can be different, saying the same thing, different people will pick it up. And that's okay. That's what we're meant to do. Never ever doubt that your weakness are your strengths. Whatever we passed through in the past is what makes us empaths, what makes us have the heart, the soul, and the spirit to understand others. The only person or the only energy is going to bring you down is going to be our own insecurities. That it can be changed, because it's only thoughts. Thoughts can be changed to the point that it don't affect you emotionally, and you can do it. So every time you get the voice that you're not good enough, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, bless it, like let it go, choose to speak it out, do it, because they keep telling me that you are already doing your soul purpose. All as you're working the social work, all those souls that you have touched, they already been changed somehow, some way. You might not be able to see it, but you have resonated and echo on those people. You have helped them. So don't doubt that you have been already doing what you weren't supposed to be doing. Every single one of us here, it's mastering love in one way or another. So the beautiful thing, if you don't know exactly what's your mission, know that being kind is helping this planet moving forward. Having good thoughts, praying for somebody is giving a lot to this planet at a soul level. Okay, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, DoveLight and RoseMarie.
Agnes, I just wanted to touch on a question that you asked yourself. Should I meditate more? We are talking to ourselves all the time. When we're little, we're imagining who we could be, what's, our potential, what can we do, what we want to do when we grow up. Then we live our life kind of imitating those thoughts. Some of us get input, and it could be negative input. You should be doing this, or you can't do that, or you're not supposed to be doing this, that, and the other. And so that feeds on us, and it limits our ability to express who we truly, really want to be. Only we know who that is, who that person is, your deepest, innermost thoughts. When you meditate, you go into the silence within you, and you're able to communicate those things. You're able to eliminate all that dross, all that other information that other people have put in your head, those questions and so on. And you're able to break down your thought to the deepest, minutest level and figure out what that means to you. And that's what meditation does. So meditation is very important because it allows us to quiet our mind and get down to that minutest detail as to who we are, what we want to do, how the things around us affect us, and how we want to respond again to them. So yeah, go ahead and definitely, like Laureli said, before you go to bed, give thanks to yourself and appreciate those things you've learned. When you wake up in the morning, feel blessed and appreciation, and then kind of set the desire for what you want to accomplish. You want to have a wonderful day. You want to meet wonderful people. You want to go in and wow them at the office. If you go in with that mindset, little things will happen. You might just talk to someone on a level that helps change their life because of a random conversation. But those things will happen because you've opened yourself up for that. And it starts with meditation or getting close and being really in touch with your inner self, because only you know what makes you feel good. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank
Great.
you. Very grateful for
Thank you so
everyone.
much, Agnes, for stepping in and letting us support you in this way. And thank you, practitioners, for holding Agnes so lovingly. It's so great. I love what we do. Yeah, so who knew this would be part of my purpose, right? I just kept taking step.
Thank you.
Layers, transformation. All right, we've got Shelley and then Crystal and then Dale and then Engelbert. Shelley is next. Shelley, do you want to come up front? If so, just turn on your video and I'll bring you up here. Okay, there you are. And okay. All right. Thanks so much. And what is your question?
Well, hi, I'm Shelley Dax, and I am I'm an artistic person, very creative. That's my life. I'm also a tattoo artist and a writer. And so it's fun to be very creative. It's fun to be very open in the world. And so, but my question is more about relationship. And when you had the word taboo, I thought, oh, okay, we could talk about this. So can we talk about this? How do you enjoy sensuality without a partner or with a partner who is reluctant? So I've been many years studying courses and reading books. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with Mama Gina's School of Womanly Arts, just like many years ago, and lots of books on sexuality and that kind of thing. But honestly, I am to the point where I am tired of self-pleasure and solo sex and everything. And it's like, it's just not as exciting anymore as it used to be a few years ago. Now I'm just kind of like, oh God, And so I feel like it actually requires a partner to go deeper into the divine sacred sexuality. The balance of masculine and feminine, that I've been working on for a lot of years, trying to get more out of my masculine and settle into my feminine, because I tend to be the more direct go leadership energy, and I've been trying to settle back. Anyway, so it seems to balance that, it kind of requires having a partner. I mean, I know maybe a lot of people would disagree with that, but I'm just at the point where I'm like, wow, I'm just really not sure where to go with this next. you know, and I'm separated from my partner, and it's been 26 years, and it's kind of, I don't know, off and on. I don't even really know, you know, so it might be time to start dating. And I thought about that too. So that's where I'm at.
I want to
So
check in on one thing that you
it's,
just said at the end. Did you say you've been separate from your partner, or you've been not in a partnered relationship? Or I'm not sure what I thought you were.
I was with him for 26 years.
Mhm.
And this whole last year, we've been separated, living in separate houses.
Okay.
Still kind of dating and kind of just a lot of stuff. So
Okay.
that's not, I mean, we've had sex and then we haven't. And it seems like I'm the one that always wants more. I want to go divine. I want to go sacred. I want to go to a next level sensual experience, you know, and he's just not really there with me. So I don't know, at least at
And,
this point. So
and do you still have a closed container in your relationship? You're separated but yeah,
yeah,
how is it defined now?
well, we kind of did up until maybe 2 months ago. And now we both said, well, maybe we should open it up. But, you know, I'm also like, I'm still in love with him, but I'm struggling with this sensual part of the relationship.
Great. And this is like ends up being part of my answer, but I just want to, does he know that he's asexual, or I'm losing my words right now, but needs the emotional connection first and doesn't have the same emotional connection that he wants? Or does he have trauma
He,
he hasn't explored, like any of those
he
things?
yeah, and he has some trauma, and he's actually went to tons of counseling and got over a lot of that stuff. But recently, in the last year, it's been one health thing after the other: a knee thing, COVID, you know, flu, slipped and fell on the ice. You know, it's just, I literally feel, and this is just my side note, like he might be manifesting some of this to avoid having
Right,
sex.
right. I was just
So
mentioning to, and I've said this online before, so I like, my partner is asexual and I had lots of history of trauma, and I worked through a lot of things. And I was just sharing with her just a few days ago, there was one time where I was experimenting with some plant medicine and how I could see that I felt so much more sexual, where I'm clearly suppressing so much
mhm.
still. And just wondering if he's experimented with anything like that too, or anything
Well,
that would really help him open in general through trauma.
I
And
mean, you know, he smokes pot, smokes a lot of pot. He, I don't know. I mean, outside of pot, I'm not sure, but you know, he used to be very, very, very passionate, very sexual for the first like many years of our
yeah,
relationship. So I don't know what exactly has happened,
so it's great.
but
And I also,
I mean, after like a year of dealing with this, plus longer, it's been a little longer, but a year of the separation and all that, it's kind of just, I'm just tired. As much as I adore him and love him and want to be with him, it's just after a while, you kind of have to face what's right in front of you.
yeah, yeah. And I want to say too, I've also been through the journey myself of being raised into culture and all the expectations that I must be straight, and this what must be what being attracted to men is, and discovering I'm also attracted to women, then discover really I'm attracted to women. And yeah, so just all those things could be
Yeah.
mixed into his journey too. And well, and just a choice of a partner like that and all the things for you. I deeply appreciate that you're exploring all these things, that you're already separated as you are, and this is great. And I'm going to hand it off to RoseMarie, who's got her hand up. I'm going to check my dog again. I'll be right back. Yeah, RoseMarie, so go ahead, you're first, and then it looks like RoseMarie, and then
All right.
DoveLight. Yeah.
Hi, Shelley.
Hi.
I know how difficult long-term relationships can be. I was in one myself for almost 30 years, off and on. He was a great guy. In my heart, I knew I loved him, but we eventually grew apart. So I'm going to kind of talk about a relationship from kind of two standpoints, one from the physical aspect and one from a spiritual aspect. The physical aspect is our desire to connect with someone, to communicate, to explore a relationship, to have immediate gratification from, you know, how they talk to us, how we feel when they walk into the room, the way they honor us, when they show us how they think about us. That's something that we've put in our own mind with how we think that should go. It's difficult to connect with someone that has exactly the same way of thinking at least, especially for a long term, because we do grow, and depending on our spiritual connotations, where we are growing, what our background is, what we hold in our hearts and in our minds, we may not grow together. And so that can kind of, like two branches on a tree. You're there together, you're embracing the wind together, but you're not really together. You're not enjoying those feelings together like you used to. I personally, like I said, love this guy. And I thought he was the one for 30 years, off and on for 30 years. I get tired, say, oh, no, you're not going to be there. When I reached my spiritual connection with myself, I had an opportunity to get with him where he was ready to ask the question. I cried because it's like, I'm finally able to get what I thought I wanted, but was it what I really needed? Was it what my soul was crying out for? So that's the physical aspect. Spiritually, I found myself in a position where I was locked up because of the opportunity to get back in that relationship when I had grown past that. Now, you talked a lot about the feminine and masculine energies. Those are energies that we hold within. Our masculine energy is that power that we use, as we were talking earlier with Agnes about our ego, our desire to get out there, to achieve certain things, to be a certain way, to be what we imagine. But our spiritual side, as DoveLight says, allows us to accept other people on the level that they come from. Now, if they don't come from the same place of being open and accepting and loving within themselves, able to allow their emotions to be expressed freely without feeling like they're in a bubble or doing something taboo that, their dad said, no, that's not being a man. They get into that, what it is to be that. And so when you are able to balance those energies in yourself, you'll be able to find someone that also has that balance, and you'll be able to make a more lasting connection because you're coming from a holistic place. So I'm going to go because I've talked over, but I'd love to talk more about it.
Great. I'm going to put all the practitioners' information in the chat. This is why we all do work one-on-one too, and we have specials and all those things. All right, let's see. We've got in line, we have DoveLight and then Crystal.
Can you please repeat your question, or I'm just going to give you the general energy?
I'm going to give you a little bit of the end. It's like, so they've been separated for a year. For the last 2 months, they've said, well, maybe it's okay for them to explore other relationships. So it's not a held monogamous container. And yeah, so the general question was, is another partner needed in order to feel sexually satisfied?
Oh, okay.
But I think also, Shelley, if it's okay, we can just wander into what do we suggest for you right now?
Yeah, totally.
Great.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm open.
Okay, first thing, it's very important to understand if you resonate with. No, first of all, Chef, thank you for sharing your story. I think we all different. We all like what we like. We don't like what we don't like. We get comfortable doing things, and that's normal. There's no shame in that. That's the gift to getting to know yourself, the gift of getting to know your soul. So thank you for sharing that. Mm-hmm. You can really, genuinely, sincerely love someone. Love it. Can be a soul person that came into your life to teach each other, grow each other, help each other, love each other. Loving someone, that doesn't necessarily mean that you guys are compatible or that you have to be together for the same thing the same way. Even souls need to grow. So this actually question, it's all about you going back to yourself. What is it that you truly unapologetically want to experience in your life and choose to allow? Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, you can love someone and again, not being compatible. It happens a lot. That's why sometimes we confuse soulmates that came into our life to teach us something and love them with a life partner. I see that there is definitely was the ending of actually a beautiful friendship partnership because of the passion. Do not worry when you worry about how it's supposed to your life look or your partner or not having partner or whatever. You worry too much, you're wasting the emotion because you could use that energy to bring in something that's for your highest good, like blocking it. This is the possibility of the future energetically that I'm picking up. because you're seeing yourself as an empress, because you're seeing yourself for your worth, for your sensuality as the divine goddess, you're gonna be guided to new experience, new people, new energies. And then you're going to find a soul that might resonate with your new path now. This doesn't make the previous person worse or less, as you know. This doesn't make you worse or less, as you know. It's just that there is a possibility because you have changed your frequency. The moment that you allow yourself the freedom to explore what you love, what you like, your passion, your frequency change. And that person has to learn at where he is. So there is no better or worse. It's just that you have to move on with where your soul is telling you to do. There is a high possibility that you might find another soul that might resonate with the vibration that you're doing at this moment. You are a chosen one. You are somebody who came into this world to if it resonates with you, eventually to lead other women into exploring sexuality and pleasure in a healthy way, without feeling the guilt or the shame the society sometimes imposes. I'm picking up also people who were abused as a kid and they feel shame to explore pleasure or fear because of that happen. They might need the safe container to dance it, to move it, to floor it. It's more about allowing yourself to feel safe in femininity. Thank you, spirits. Femininity. That's some people need that help, and you might be a good I don't want to call it match, but a good container to do that. They're telling me to be patient, keep cultivating the good memories, the good values. There is definitely a committed soul that's coming to you in the future, and you will know because it has to come from you, but you will know. Okay, thank you. I see the story.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, DoveLight. Appreciate that.
Thank you, DoveLight. Crystal Novak, and then Gina.
Hi. Your partner, former partner, it's like, I feel like you're like accelerating and he's being left behind.
Yeah, that's what he's actually said multiple times over the last couple of years.
Yeah. And also to me, he feels very tired. He
He's
just feels
very
like,
tired.
yeah, he doesn't, his get up and go, got up and went. I mean, he just, I don't mean sexually necessarily. I just mean all the way across the board. He's just tapped out right now. And he wants to stay slowed down. He does not, he's like, poke me with a fork, I'm done. So it's not a good match for you there anymore in that respect anyways, because you are on an accelerated path and you have been getting downloads. And every time you do any of your creative activities, more of that stuff just comes right in. That's where you get tapped, is when you're doing your creative expression and your creative flow. Which I also think has led you to this place about that you want to experience yourself and be reflected back. It's like communion. It's like merging. It's like, how can I be with that person where they totally feel me and I feel them, and we're having this shared, granted it's a sexual experience, but at the same time it's like a soul, almost a spiritual cross point kind of thing, where you're meeting at so many different places. And then self is just self, and that other self is just self, and you're getting able to witness each other's divinity in that moment and have that experience. And he just doesn't, it's just not him. It's just not him. In fact, it just feels overwhelming to him to even think to be present in that fashion in the same moment as being sexual. So passion is fine, but you're wanting that extra component to come alongside of it.
Yeah.
So I don't think that, I think it's totally great that you want to go have that, and that's totally fine. And I believe what DoveLight was sharing about, as you continue to clear that and get more okay with that, you're going to resonate at that frequency, and you're going to start creating contenders to come forward. And as Laurel mentioned, you might want to keep an open mind, because it might just show up as a different flavor that maybe you've not.
Yeah, and I'm open to anything, so that's not the issue. It's just, I think right now it's starting to think even just a little bit about seeing other people or whatever. This is going to be odd, and I'm saying it out loud, but whatever. I'm having to like downgrade him in my mind to make it okay for me to even think about being with someone else. You know, it's like, okay, well, he's so tired and he falls asleep all the time, you know, just to like make it okay to be thinking of someone else or thinking of dating someone else.
Right.
That's really bothering me.
Well, yeah, because you're judging, you're trying to put a judgment on it so you
Yeah.
don't feel guilty about what you want and where you want to go.
Right.
So this could just be part two. I mean, you've lived Shelley's life part one, and now this is Shelley's life part two, and he's stage left. And it's okay. It doesn't mean anything about how you feel about him if you transition to a different relationship. And I got to get going because Lorelai's flashing me because we got other people. No, so, The Rock. I like that.
I'll say quickly as I'm handing it off, part of your eyes is you have the lesson of, am I good enough? And so I think that that's all coming up in here too.
That's what I was
and
just gonna say.
that's,
Yeah.
totally connected with Crystal's going. All right. Gina and then RoseMarie, you shared once already, right? So you just a short share and I'm going to share a little bit and then we'll
Love
finish
yourself.
up. Go ahead, Gina.
That's what you got to do first.
Hi, Gina.
Hi, Shelley. So the last part of what you said, really, I feel it right here, that piece of it. And a word that kept coming as you were sharing was permission and honoring. And to me, there seems to be a pull or the beginning of a path that says, yes, I do have permission. I believe a person should have permission to grow and to change. And another part that says, I'm honoring my journey, but by honoring my journey, then I also want to honor other people's journey. And so whatever this decision is that you're making, there's this part that there seems to be a bit of a, I don't have it's not a conflict. They're like two pulling apart ideas about it. And one is to go be free, right? Which is about being solo and free in a sacred way, right? You're looking for this sacred creativity, this sacred wholeness, this sacred fullness, right? And honoring you. And then this other part would also feel sacred, which is a commitment to someone, a commitment to honoring someone's journey, a commitment to honoring your journey, his journey, all those pieces. And how do you do both? And I see you nodding your head, so it sounds like that those two things. And so
I'm torn inside. I'm torn.
Yeah. And so what I want to offer is that our world sometimes can want everything to be so black and white, right? So in this box. And I love that you brought up, like, I'm going to talk about something taboo, right? Because the truth is there isn't any way. And these constructs of marriage or these constructs of what feminine and masculine are and what we're limited by, they aren't real. They don't exist. We feel them. And so these two things that are pulling, I feel them as two amazing, lovely, high vibration parts of your integrity, parts of you, right? They're both parts of you. And maybe there's a way that as you discover and explore, that it doesn't have to be one or the other. And I'm not saying whether that means you stay together or you don't, but the way in which you do it doesn't have to be. And that goes to a little bit about what Crystal was saying a minute ago and what you brought up. It's like, I kind of have to make him bad in order, well, you didn't use those words, but make him less in order to be more. And I feel that you have the capacity, whatever the gifts you have in the world, you have the capacity to do this in a way that feels sacred and honors you, but then honors your desire to also want to honor another person. I feel that in you, that there are ways. And so, and thank you, Laureli. So it doesn't, just the word permission, you have permission for it to be however you, as you explore this, how you, Shelley, feel that that transition should be. And maybe that transition is about you feeling wholer and you get to stay in the relationship. Maybe it's something else. It doesn't matter. It's what you, and each step of the way, you're going to learn more. Each step of the way, you're going to know the next part. But trust those two parts of yourself. It's my
Yes.
piece I'm getting.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gina. That was wonderful.
Shelley, I just want to touch on the fact, something that you mentioned about yourself earlier, that you're an artist and you love to create. That's that spiritual part of you. That's why exploring yourself is no longer something that excites you, because you kind of know what your body is about. But sex is a very personal thing. Once you connect with someone on that level, you've given a part of yourself, and you want that to be honored forever, you know, especially when you give yourself, you're ready to accept someone. But when you love them and it's not working, to honor yourself, you kind of have to allow them to grow into who they're going to become, which is what you're doing with your expression of your art. And that's just who you are. So that's got to be a part of what you bring into your life to keep you excited about life. So connecting with someone on a heart level first, you know, seeing what you love about them and what they love about you. And then when you make that sexual connection, you've already got a soulful connection, something that isn't detached. It's a little bit detached from the physical, but you've moved to a higher connection with them before you make that physical connection. And then once you do, then you have connected on a higher level. So I just want to really touch on the fact that you are, like you said, very creative, and expressing yourself creatively is really important to you. So I'd say go with the, you know, work on that heart thing a little bit. Try to connect with someone when you meet someone. Oh yeah, I like him or her. You know, how do we feel internally together? How do they make my heart sing? Do they make me feel good when they walk in the room? And then when you give yourself physically, you can give yourself wholly, because you're not as concerned of them not accepting you. And that's the whole thing.
Yeah. That's great. Good. Thank you. I
Right.
noticed that when I think about the spiritual, you know, finding another person who is a spiritual, deeply connected, whatever person, I find that almost all the groups I'm in, almost everything I'm doing in my life, it's all women, 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 women. Even here, it's mostly women, you know, and it's like, how do you, I don't know, maybe when I find that it's okay and give myself permission to date, maybe he'll just step up or something. I don't know.
Let's see. Number one, I'm a matchmaker, and this is my specialty. And I want to say just a few more things briefly. So part of the fulfillment of sexual experience and expression is being with one or more other people and helping creating the experience of how they experience pleasure. That's part of what the fulfilling experience is about. So it's totally okay that you want to be with another person. And as you start to explore with new people, I want to encourage you that if you run into any dates of people that are also held back in some similar way or want to go so slowly, come back in and look more to see how you're choosing this. Because there could be something in you that you don't realize and how it's showing up. So, you know, statistical, if you like go on 7 dates with different people and one person, but if you have like one where that's, you know, in wherever you are in the journey with them, and I encourage you to date and get experience with lots of different people and in whatever format you're dating, if it shows up where it could be a theme for you. As I was working through some of my trauma and healing my trauma, I wandered into the idea of like, well, what if being sexual in my body is just like being on a playground? And it's no different than playing in a playground as a kid. And it can be part of a spiritual playground too. So I just encourage you holding spaciousness for that and letting it be a discovery of part of being alive and a human. And it's also part of our spiritual expression.
Yeah.
And anything else? Oh, and saying no in whatever way you're saying no to him. As a matchmaker, I coach people about this all the time. Saying no to whatever part of the no is here, it's really releasing that other person to be able to find whatever else is a better match for them, whether it's simply being free and not having this be pressure for him anymore, or that there might be some other partner that's a better fit for him, whatever it is. Saying no when it's not a good fit really is a gift for the other person so they can find whatever is better for them.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome. I am a matchmaker, and I'll put stuff in the chat about that, matchmakingsoulmates.com. And what city are you in? I might already know someone.
I'm in outside of Eugene.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Okay. Yeah, I have a date for you. All right. Okay, great. So thank you so much for jumping in and talking about what might be a taboo topic. We are here for that. Thanks for letting us support you. And I'll write you in the chat about the date. All right, great. We have Crystal up next. So I'm going to bring you here in Spotlight. I think I know which crystal this is. We will find out if it's the right one. Is this you? All right, great. What is your question?
Well, it's kind of embarrassing. Okay, so I guess my question.
Just as you start to share, as you feel embarrassed, I want you to know that it's okay. The topic of this paddle
I
is
just don't
about
want to
stuff
sound
that might bring
crazy.
up embarrassment. Yeah, and you bring it up in whatever way you want to. It's okay.
It's not about family or relationships. Oh my God. Okay.
And you can cover your eyes. It's okay. Part of this is honoring whatever
I
experience is.
literally just came from Olympia and talked to like a medium, and it was just like not helpful like at all. And I just felt like I'm losing my mind. So then I got on Facebook and I was like, well, I'll just join this. And I think I'm going to join tomorrow though. But long story short, so I purchased well, I'll just tell you what the question is. The question is, I'm wondering, like, how did you guys know, like, you were like mediums or sensitive? And I know that I did research and I know that everyone is born that way. But like, so my last house that I owned, I lived there for 10 years and I seen, like, my dog passed away and I felt her. My partner did too, you know, all these things. And I was like, oh, we must have like paranormal activity, or like, this is weird. Like, she's feeling it too, you know, blah, blah. And then I sold my house and moved out to Muckleshoot. My house is actually zone tribal. And a piece of the land is actually, they purchased from the last owner that owned my house because they found stuff in the ground. I don't know, whatever. I don't think that has anything to do with anything, but and I got sober because yes, I am from a dysfunctional family. I do not have a father. My mom's chose things other than her kids, you know, whatnot. So I used alcohol as an outlet, but I moved here and I thought I'm going to get sober. I moved out here to open an animal sanctuary, so I rescue pigs. But anyway, the house like blew up. Like I've seen a man twice. So let me explain. I had my house saged, did nothing, didn't do anything. Then we did prayer. It slowed it down. And then I had a paranormal group. I contacted them and I said, if you come in, I just wanted to stop. Well, it didn't stop. It amplified by 10 and I ended up having to go to urgent care. Never thought that was possible. I don't even like to go to doctors, let alone because my oxygen level was so low. Like it was, and I don't know. So, and when I say activity, when I knew the paranormal team was coming, I decided I'm going to pull out my phone and I'm going to start documenting. And I documented a bunch of stuff. A lot of it I lost because I break phones like all the time. But yeah, actually, I have a lot on camera though. So the paranormal team left and I felt like it's worse. Like I need advice. I don't know where to go. So then I did make a TikTok and I added stuff. I don't even watch TikTok. Like I don't watch videos, but I uploaded it because I needed advice. So there is some of my videos are on there where you see like the things floating. I'm sorry.
I just want to check in too. Nothing that you're sharing, please feel ashamed about. This is totally like normal stuff that we talk about all the time. And I want to make sure that we get to what is your question. I appreciate you giving us all this context. Just make sure we get clear so that we can support you.
Yes, I'm getting to that in like 2 seconds.
Keep going.
So I downloaded, to get advice. I still didn't get it. So then I went to the MeWe thing and I met with Kai and she did this energy clearing. And I just thought it was hogwash. Like I didn't really believe it. And then I was like looking around the room, my heart starts racing and it was like the most insane experience. And I was like, maybe this stuff is like I don't even know, right? But when she did it, she said, "Are you sensitive? Because you're gonna feel this." And I was like, "No, like, you know." So anyways, after the fact, then I came home, and after everything was quiet and I felt like I had a massage. She said I would have a lot of energy, but that wasn't true. I was really, really tired. Like just relaxed. But anyway, so moving forward, things start picking up again. And then I thought, well, maybe am I sensitive? Like, I don't know. It's just so weird. So I was like, well, I looked it up and they were like, oh, meditate. Well, I did that and things like totally amplified. Like, I don't even know how to meditate or anything like that. But the the things that I'm doing is like not, it doesn't even make sense. Someone can come into a room and I'll tell them their age, and which I've always been able to do that. I'm really good with numbers. I can hold up a deck of cards and tell you the number before I flip it.
We got a ton we
but
want to
it's
share with you. So
what?
we got a ton we want to share with you. So
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. So my question just I mean, no, my question is just like, how did you guys, like, who did you guys talk to for advice? Like, how did you get the help that you need? Because I feel like I'm going crazy. I told one person and she already stopped talking to me. And I was like, I'm not crazy. I'm in mental health. Like, I've been at my job for 20 years. I work with bipolar and schizophrenia, and I don't even understand.
you say you work
I
with
don't
people that
know.
have it all the time. So you know about I'm just going to say psychotic and neurotic, and you're asking is how this blends into psychic, because there's a reason why these words sound kind of similar. And psychic opening, right? And it's not psychotic, and its psychic opening is different. And you're going through the kinds of experience that tons of people go through when they are very open and they hadn't been taught healthy boundaries and shielding as kids. And so all this stuff is here, and the messages get louder and louder until you hear them. And so you're hearing the messages that you're gifted. So you're in the right place, and let's have practitioners be able to share and answer with you. I just wanted to give you that little bit back first. You're clearly gifted, and it's how to honor yourself and then how to share this in the world, because there's pressure for you to share your gifts. All right, so RoseMarie, and then DoveLight, and then Gina.
Hi, Crystal. Did I unmute? Can you hear me? Oh, I'm good. Okay. I talked to a lot of people that have had experiences when they were children and didn't have anybody to talk to about it, who later found out that their parents also, especially like their mom or the grandparents, also had those abilities, but because of it was taboo back in the day, what happens is a lot of people are told that there's something wrong with them or there's nothing going on, you're just imagining things. And so we internalize that. We are all born with a certain level of sensitivity. And as children, if we are allowed to open up to that, we're able to learn early how to experience those things. Earlier, if we are faced with an experience that keeps happening to us, it's like it's something in our face that's saying, you need to look at me. So you might need to kind of delve into it, maybe get you a yogi or a swami or someone that you could sit down and talk about spirits and how they interact with you and when do you see them and how do you experience those things in your life? Because you could be on the path to where you are in a direction to where you need to cultivate those abilities. Because like I said, we all have them at various levels. And if it keeps coming back to you and coming back to you, it's something that you need to deal with, which means, and I don't mean in a negative way, but it's something that you need to learn about because it's a heightened consciousness that you have already. And so you need to kind of learn how to bring that into your life because you, like one of the practitioners said, you may be called to help others in that realm, especially because that ability for you is so acute. So get you someone that you can talk to on a regular basis, share your experiences with, help walk you through those things and help you to understand what those things mean to you. Because you could be on a path to, like I said, sit here on a panel like this and help others that are dealing with those particular types of energies. Because it's an energy that you're blessed with. It doesn't seem like a blessing because most of us don't even know that we have one. But yeah, it's something that you're called on to explore and experience. So learn as much as you can about it. It'll open your world.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, RoseMarie. Next, we've got DoveLight, then Gina, then Crystal.
Okay. Just to make sure, were not involved in invoking or playing with something you were not supposed to do, something, nothing like that, right?
No, only recently, like the last 2 weeks, I was playing with or some kind of, not tarot cards, but something different, or oracle cards.
Oh, sure, it's
I'm
okay.
new to all, like, I'm new.
You're in the right path. Everything that you have said
That was
about play-
really weird when I was
No,
playing
no,
with
no,
that.
no, it's not weird. It just needs to make sure. There was something in your life that put you out of balance. I don't know if it was work, a relationship, something, but it was energetically, you were not in balance. Like, it's confirmed. That brings your vibration a little lower for an opening. There was definitely, don't know what I'm picking up. If it doesn't resonate with you, it's fine. You have mediumship abilities. You were born as having that light. There is no doubt. There was a dark energy. I don't know if it's human or if it was a lost soul. Probably I feel like it's a lost soul, but it was following you around. There is no doubt that something wanted to communicate. Now, we need to figure it out if that soul was trying to ask you for help because the soul saw your light and was trying to know, hey, hello, can you help me pass? Can you help me? Whatever needs to happen. But sometimes we see it as it's attacking us. Or because there are spirits that are negative to us, they want to bother us, but there are others who just want you to help them, and you perhaps were not aware your mediumship abilities, but they saw it, and it was a little bit of this sort of soul wandering energy, and I'm not going to doubt about it, but it was able to see your gift. You are meant to be of service. You confirm that by the work that you do. You can be, if you choose to do so, you can be involved in spirituality because it might not stop. There is definitely the recommendation, if you haven't done so already, something needs to be cut, something needs to be clear. If you're still feeling this presence, needs to be removed away. It is important that if you feel that you need to communicate with these energies, you have to start building a relationship with the spirit guide, with God, Archangel Michael, Buddha, Hinduism, whatever you wish to, or you have, now that you know their spirits are more closer to you and you're able to interact. You want to do it consciously, or even to tell them off or to help them, whatever you choose to do, you need to be more conscious about it. And it is very important to understand that there is higher beings, now they have a light that can protect you, can bless you, and can guide you. You cannot escape this if you don't do meditation and prayer. You need to allow yourself a form of meditation so you start understanding your energy, you start understanding your gift, and you start being able to listen and to talk to them if you need to, because even if you take a course or teachers, they're not going to be there with you 24/7 when the spirits come to knock at your door. And prayers, you have to build your relationship with your spirit guides, to God, to the energy. So it's like a teamwork that you can escape, because now it's, for some reason, your gift is developing, is more opening, and that's what I'm picking up. But there is a recommendation is to find balance within your life, because that's going to affect you. I put a link of a school. I love that, guys. James Van Praga has so many beautiful courses, beautiful guidance. It's very from the heart. I met him once before. I can recommend you that, as well as to find people that you resonate for guidance. And
Great.
if you feel that thing hasn't been clear you, I highly recommend you to work with a professional or somebody can help you remove that, because there was definitely something not so nice that was following you around. Okay.
There was, yeah, it's gone now.
Great. All right, next we've got Gina.
Hi, Crystal. Thanks for bringing this and trusting us to hear what's going on. The things that come up for me are a lot of it seems like you're in a decision place. And I say that because what I hear is, one of the question is, do you want to be sensitive? Do you want to be affected by the things that are going around? And you don't have to answer that, but it's as this is happening, I feel a bit of a conflict. Like, part says, yes, I want to, this is interesting. This makes sense to me. This is a part of, this feels like something familiar. And then another part that's like, like, oh, hell no, or I'm supposed to not want to. There's something there. And so to me, a big part of the moment is having conversations, whether it's through journaling or with someone else, about that very question. Is this something that you want right now? And part of that could be, is it safe? Is it not safe? How would this affect my life if I explore this? How will it not affect my life? What will it bring in? What won't? So knowing that you have choices in that, I think is going to be really important for the next step that you take. Knowing that there isn't a right or wrong, whatever you choose in that. I get a lot of kind of past life energies from this, that maybe there was a time in another life that you worked with energy. And maybe it was in a way that you wouldn't do it in this life. And so there's also that kind of duality going on of a familiarity of something, right? That maybe you had experienced as someone who did this in the past and who was able to work with energies in the past. And now you're in this lifetime. And how do you want to do it now in this lifetime? And what I sense from you is you'd like to do it, but you want to do it at a very high vibration. And that you don't want to have any that there are parts that you want to work with and parts that you don't. So a new contract, a new way of doing it, like an updated system. And the word betray comes up, and I see the time. Is there some sense of is there a concept of betray or betrayal that is somehow creeping in any of this, and just getting curious about that. So all right, so that's my time.
And I want to give you an
you.
example of, Gina's a great example of how she uses counseling and therapy and mixes in all these other things, and she still has very different ways of sharing her work. So going one direction doesn't mean you only go that direction. So yeah, I love your share, Gina. And then we've got Crystal next.
Hi, Crystal.
Hi, Crystal.
Okay. Only got so much time, so I'm gonna be kind of fast.
I get it. Yeah.
Your sobriety opened the door back up.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why alcohol was so helpful, because you kept everything shut down. So when you chose sobriety and you chose you, then you also inadvertently turned the porch light back on and started drawing in entities. Okay. The group of people that you work with, that you are helping, many of them are also carrying entities with them as well. They're attracted to you, and some of them are coming into your space. So the next thing I want to talk about is what I call energy hygiene. And I want you to consider doing these things that I'm going to suggest, because I think they'll be helpful.
Right.
You want to visualize a portal above your head that opens, and white light, this beautiful, luminous white light, comes swirling down and cascading down into your space. And it flows all the way through you. And you can even postulate this as it's happening. I'm releasing that which no longer serves, which doesn't belong to me. And it's going to pick all that negative energy up. And don't forget your back. And you're going to let it go all the way down your legs and out through the bottoms of your feet. And that sends it back to the universe, and the universe cleans it up and recycles it. And then it's refreshed again, and it's available again as pure raw energy. Then once you've run that energy and done that, now you're kind of like in this egg of white light energy. So you're shielded. Make sense? Okay. The second piece you want to do while you're doing this work is, and even if you can't see it, you can still postulate that it's happening, releasing cords and bands of energy. If it's not mine, I'm letting it go. If it doesn't belong to me, I'm letting it go. Okay. You want to do this at least in the morning when you wake up. You want to do it throughout your day, especially with the clientele you're working with. I would suggest doing it first thing in the morning, and then remembering it like when you get out of the car. I've got my egg shield on, I've got my shield on, I've got my shield on. And then just periodically throughout the day, cleanse yourself, because you're dealing with a group of people that are open in different ways, and therefore they can't quite regulate all the different energies they're pulling in. And you're a magnet. Okay. making sense so far?
Mhm.
Okay. And then the other thing I would do is, because everything's new and it's opening up for you, you can ask for help. You can say, I know I have a divine support staff. I don't know who you all are yet because I'm getting to know myself. And then, thank you, Lorelei, and getting to know me, but I'm asking for divine intervention and divine support as I continue to make my way and my life is unfolding before me. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I got to jump off.
Great, and I'll add just a teeny bit more. I love what Gina shared. had some similar things coming through that, in particular, because you work in the psychology field, you have awareness of how, I'm imagining you have awareness of how like things might go a wrong direction and some fear inside about opening in a way that, I agree about the shielding first and knowing how to protect yourself, but even just the opening, a fear that things might go a direction that's not healthy. So I imagine that's just part of what the dance is here for you. And then what Crystal was sharing, I feel like part of what you're needing to step into here is that you are worthy of being clear, of being protected, of being able to be fully alive while you are shielded and you don't have negative energy in your space. Because if you grew up around so much negative energy, on the one hand, you're taught that it's normal. It can actually feel like love, even though it's so unhealthy. Whatever difficult things we grew up around ends up connected with the same neurons in our brains. And so learning to pull this apart so that you can feel safe and connected in good ways whilst not having the negative stuff in the space. So it's opening to that willingness is part of what allows all these things to work. And I say I was a scientist. I consider myself an atheist. And so this stuff all had to come in like the back door. And I totally did not realize what was going on. I was doing personality assessments and sharing things in the context of coaching. And I had to realize that in order to get better and better at assessing people, that's what I called it, I had to learn to trust myself more. And I really was opening my intuition. And then I happened to have a colleague, I put myself in a place where I had a colleague next to me that turned out has huge history, family, psychic field in the East Coast. And so she'd been with me for all these years, and she used to come to me for she had questions, and she shared intuitively in her work all the time. And I had no idea what was going on. And she pulled me aside before I moved to the Northwest and said, "Hey, Lorelei." And she's the one that really prompted me to step in and to open. And I was terrified, absolutely terrified. And just step by step by step. And I've let myself open, and it's been a long journey. And yeah, so go at the pace that works for you. And you can just close the door if you want to. These are all options.
It just seems like scary and fake. Like, and then I go into panic. Like, my sister's friend passed, and I said, let me see the shirt. I'm going to see if this is the kind of medium. Like, I was kind of testing it, and I was like, I'm not getting anything. I'm not like that, like, joking. And this was last week. And then she walked into a room and came back, and he said, actually, what's his name? And I like blurted his name out, and she's like, that is his birth name. And I was like, I don't know how I knew that, but it pops fast. Like, if I have time to think about something, I'm not going to get it. Like, I don't even know how to explain it.
Claircognizance. So I'll get you the list from the practice circle that we'll get out tomorrow. It's a long list of clairs. They're all different kinds of ways that people are open. Claircognizance is clear knowing. It's just bang, it's just there. And all the ways that you're open artistically and all the things that flow in, it's really the same kind of knowing. It's just different things, and you happen to be connected to the places where you're getting verification. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be a big new thing that's so scary. And DoveLight, go ahead briefly, and we got to go on. We got, I think, 2 more questions we got to get to.
Thank you. I just want to say to everybody who is interested about exploring this or are open to this gift, being spiritually gifted is not equal to your ethics. It's not equal to common sense. It's not equal to be the wisest or the know-it-all, because at the end of the day, it's all another skills that we have as humans. And you still have to grow yourself. You still have things to learn. You still can get it wrong. You still can be right. You're still learning. I just want to honor that. It's just like having any other skill, because many people think that because you're psychic or you're gifted or you can know or see things, it's equal to, oh, this person wants my best interest. That's why there is scammers too. Or this person is like very grounded. So it's diversity. I just want to don't confuse that. of course, there's good people like you or like well-meaning people who want to explore this to help others. But I just don't want to confuse that for people who are new to this. Okay, everybody's growing.
Great. And I just noticed I felt just I want to check in. RoseMarie, I can't remember, what is your professional background? And is your professional background similar in that you've mixed the two things together?
My martial arts I have, but
Okay.
I've done everything from doing insurance to stocks and real estate and everything. But those were the opportunities I had. But my love was martial arts and helping people grow.
Yeah, so all the different ways that we open, all the different pathways that we take, they're all different. All right. Thank you so much, Crystal, for letting us support you. Thanks for
Thank you.
supporting everyone else and letting us answer. All right, great. So we've got Dale and then Engelbert. So practitioners, I hope you can stay a little bit late. I know we're fitting all this in, so let's bring Dale up here. Hey, Dale, what's your question?
Okay, thanks you. Hi, practitioners. It's been amazing so far. I really appreciate all your shares so far. I've taken it all in and to heart, and it's helped me so far. Just some context before I ask my question. So I just have a beautiful, full spiritual life, and I'm very happy of how I'm contributing in the world. But my question is, what is it about having a partner? Am I deluding myself believing that life is going to be better if I have a partner? And am I waiting and watching in vain for such a thing to happen? So I just feel like it's been 7 years since my divorce of marriage of 19 years. And I've gone through a lot of personal growth and connection with myself, but I'm really yearning for a partner. And I'm just wondering, and I believe in divine timing. So I know it's not going to happen on my time, though I wanted to. I just thought I would just open that subject up a little bit because I'm just wondering, should I just give it up and just focus on my life? Or is there something to be said about letting my heart's desire be in the forefront? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dale, for your question. All right, RoseMarie is ready, and then DoveLight. Go ahead, RoseMarie.
Dale, I love that question. I'm in my early 60s, and I've had a lot of, relationships like most of us. But when you have an opportunity to focus on you and what makes you lovable and what you love in life, you get an opportunity to decide what you like in a partner. What kind of person do you want to spend your life with? I was blessed to work with people who really loved me, who took me in as a part of the family, and they thought I needed a partner. They kept, RoseMarie, we're going to help you find someone. We want you to be happy. But the main thing is to be happy in yourself. Know what kind of person compliments you or that you would like to compliment you. Do you want someone spiritually available? Do you want someone very physical and connected to you? What kind of person that you want instead of just settling for the next person that comes in that pays you a little bit of attention. If you know what you want, you're more able to see that. And the universe brings that to you because it can answer that question for you. It can find that person for you. So don't give up. Have faith that there is somebody out there for you because there is. But remember to love yourself and to know that that person that you want to come into your life, you want that loving relationship. And what does that mean to you? When you can describe that, then the universe can bring that to you. It can answer your desire, but have faith. It's coming.
I like that.
I like that. Yeah, if you want it, it's coming.
But I like that idea of describing it. And I have done that many times, but I can do it again. And I think part of me doesn't believe I can have what I want, so thank you for suggesting that. I'll pick that up and have another go at it.
Be specific. Do you want him tall, dark, and handsome? Or, do you want someone astute and educated, kind of stiff? Some of us like the stiffness, do you want somebody fun loving? Describe in your heart what would make your heart sing, what kind of person that excites you. because that's what we want in our life. Someone that we can connect with, that fire stays burning for the rest of our life. I keep hearing stuff hitting my window. I'm sorry. I'm in Portland, so we're getting a lot of that wind.
Yeah. Me too. I'm in Portland too.
Oh, are you
Yeah.
fantastic? But
Yeah.
yeah, describe what makes your heart sing. And that's what
I'm really taking that to heart, RoseMarie. Thank you very much.
Great. We've got DoveLight next.
Hi. I press unmute. I put myself in the back. Thank you for sharing that. As soon as you came to the Zoom video, I saw a lot of angelic energy, a lot of light, a lot of spiritual energy. So even before you mentioned it, there is no doubt that you have a work from your higher self. I can see that you also have I don't know if it's unconscious, because I know you work on yourself, a strong barrier of protection to don't be cheated on, don't be like betrayed, you don't want none of that drama. Is stealing the energy field very strongly. Like it's a self-protection. Like consciously we can say, oh yes, maybe I should be good with a partner, or maybe not, but behind that is who will like somebody like me, or what if I open my heart and they betray me again, or they things like that, like some type of cheating or something like that.
Yeah.
It makes you feel worth it to be on. It's a part of you, I felt, that feels it's better to be on your own, work on yourself to be, than pass through all that again. There is definitely the need to bring more passion into your life. That's what makes you consider. But they want you, something that I resonate very strongly is they want you to live your bliss. They want you to keep living your bliss, do things that makes you feel happy, makes you feel safe, comfortable, work on your emotions in self-love meditation. I highly recommend you Louise Hay. You can find her videos on YouTube, or Marisa Pierce. They have working on relationships. What I'm picking up, if it doesn't resonate, that's fine, is that you are even afraid to take the leadership into your romantic relationship because you don't want to get hurt. So we have to unapologetically allow a safe space when you feel ready to know what is it you truly want in your heart, because people might look happy in partners and that's fine, but people might be okay being alone and that's okay too. But what is it you truly feel comfortable at this moment? And when you feel ready within yourself, you can move to attract somebody like that, you know? It doesn't have to be looking dating. Sometimes the universe bring it to you in the less expecting way, but you have to feel not guarded, like put your boundaries, but you have to feel safe enough. I feel like there is some healing, emotional healing to still work on when you feel ready. Something that I also passed through self-image, self-issues, and I could not believe that somebody would want me but I know for a fact through working with spirit, if somebody signed a contract, a life partner contract with you before coming to this planet, no matter what you think about yourself, no matter what you believe about yourself, this person will meet you. It's in your destiny. But it's your free will how do you choose to move forward with this person. So you want to be in a place when you feel happy with your life, happy with yourself, safe, related at your own time and space, so you can be able to explore these options that the universe might bring you, if it's for your highest, if it's something that really you want, you know. That's what I'm picking up for you. Thank you.
Thank you, DoveLight.
Thank you, DoveLight. We've got Gina and then Crystal.
Hi, Dale.
Gina.
So I really was feeling a lot of what DoveLight was sharing. You know, as I was writing down before she even spoke, and I feel the peace, and this is what I see as this beautiful high vibration. There's, you know, the grace, the I don't know what word, angelic, I don't know what word, she's all around your head, your face, the front of your this part of the front of you, but right where your bone, where your skeleton begins, right there, I see a barrier, bars, almost like a prison, protecting a part of you. And I almost imagine it like a I keep seeing bars, like a little jail in your heart, and a part of your heart in there, but it's not a higher self heart, it's not a higher love, it's more like relationship love, the part of love that gets hurt in relationships. And so as I'm, you know, kind of listening and thinking about that, it makes me curious, about kind of what constructed that. It makes me curious, why is that protection there, right? And so I would get real curious about that and really get into an honest, compassionate conversation about that.
Okay.
And doing it through the lens of your higher self with that high vibration. And the reason is, and this goes to your, do I want to, you said, it's so beautiful. You said, do I put my heart's desire in the forefront, right? I mean, that's so beautiful. Do I put my heart's desire in the forefront? And I feel like what you're saying is I want to put my heart's desire in the forefront, but I will not do it unless I know that I trust myself to take care of me. So I will not do it. I will not sacrifice until I know that I've got me and there is nothing I will sacrifice me for. There's nothing that can take me down, because my relationship with me is the one that I'm keeping as holy and whole, number one. And so this beautiful relationship that you're looking for that is there for you, it's all right. It's all right here. And then once you know that, because I see that, that integration that's going to happen, then I just feel like it's just going to go like that.
Yeah.
And that whatever you're manifesting you'll feel it's available if you choose it or not, but it'll be a choice. Yeah.
That was spot on, Gina. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I've known Dale for years. I totally agree. Crystal's next.
I'm gonna build on what Gina was saying. You haven't forgiven yourself about a specific relationship where you feel you got tricked or fooled. There's a feeling of betrayal. How could I have been so stupid to believed in love and let this person in, and they just trashed the place and left? And I think that's where those bars and stuff are coming from. So if you've got those bars up, then nobody's going to be able to come through to be in your heart.
Yeah.
So there needs to be like some healing work done here, sitting down and having self-compassion, that you took a risk and maybe you didn't have enough information, or maybe you were ignoring your intuition. Just whatever you did at that point is forgive yourself. Forgive yourself.
Yeah.
The promise of love is so intoxicating. I mean, to find that person, to be in that kind of connection, especially with the depth of feeling and spirituality where you're coming from, to think that that's what you're getting out of the other person. Yes, of course. We took that risk and now we know better. So part of being able to receive is to believe that we're worth it. And the universe is telling me to tell you that you have to remember that you're a prize to be won. Yeah. I know it feels a little, it feels a little odd at first to try that on, like, what? But when you walk around in that vibration, and especially when you start doing the work where you can actually say it to yourself and go and not like cringe a little bit or duck your head, that's the vibration you want to be at, to pull the partner that's going to hold that same vibration. They're going to go, holy God, I won the lotto when I got Dale. I mean, that was, I won. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So to me, that's where you want to go. And when you're in that place, then your cup of love for yourself is full. You are complete already. So the person that comes in complements you. They add to what you already have. They don't complete you. They don't fill in holes. They come on and they add. They add another layer. They add more flavor. They add another dimension. And then you do the same thing for them. We got to do that work first. Yeah.
Cool.
That's a good carrot and a stick right there. I mean, there's that carrot. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Crystal. That was beautiful. Love it.
Great. And my share is basically the same thing the last couple said. Zoe, please wait. It's your words are so important. And what I heard you say is, am I deluding myself that life will be better with a partner. Use the word a partner. And so what's it like if you ask the universe the question, am I deluding myself if I let in a good partner for me? Am I deluding myself if I let in the right partner for me?
Mm,
And how does that feel when you ask that question?
Yeah, love that. Love that. Love that.
It's all part of, yeah, so asking the universe the right questions.
Right. Absolutely.
And listing like what's true for you now of what you're looking for, because it keeps changing, right?
Yeah.
As you keep opening and you keep loving yourself more, the answer is changing.
Yeah. And just a real quick share. So everybody's just spot on. My heart is so filled with so much gratitude for all your words and wisdom. They've really touched my heart and totally relate to them. So just one thing I want to mention is like, I feel like, because I've been on my own for 7 years and I've really been protecting myself and loving myself, and I'm good with that. I'm good with myself. I love myself. I feel safe with myself. And then as soon as I start thinking about having a partner,
It's like what's happening here as you're talking. It's something important about that, but keep going.
Okay. So that's when the bars go up. It's like I am in love with myself. I do think I'm a prize. I am creating safety for myself. But as soon as I go into the sphere of thinking about adding someone to my life, that's when the bars come up and I get scared.
Yeah, and I want to say I encourage you to look at ways you're adding people that are very small, that feel safe to you, where you see and you're proving yourself that you honor you. Like, and it may simply be walk through a New Renaissance bookshop in Portland and look at men and come to trust yourself that you're staying connected to yourself where you're just looking at people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So build this muscle of knowing that it's just like the other shared, that you are so important and that you prioritize yourself.
Absolutely. And I'm actually actively working with a life coach she does work with conscious codependence. And I'm really getting some fabulous life work right now on that in those terms. So this is all so wonderful. Thank you guys.
Great. Thank you so much, Dale. Dale is another great supporter of our community that's been here for quite a while and helps decorate our fairs in Portland. Thank you so much, Dale. All right, Engelbert. Yeah, all examples of living our purpose, right? All the different ways we live our purpose and how Dale's living her purpose, being part of the community. All right, Engelbert, I'm bringing you right up.
Oh,
And what is...
before you bring the next person, I was gonna say that it's normal when you have built all the safety and space for you to be unstable. Of course, it's normal to be scared because you're putting in risk your stability and your peace. So it's worth to take the risk to change, but it's absolutely normal to accept that that we can be afraid to lose the healing and stability we are made for ourselves. So you are not alone on this. And thank you for sharing that.
Thanks, DoveLight. Yeah, for finishing that up. All right, great. All right, Engelbert, thank you so much for being here and wanting to ask a question. And how can we support you?
Yes, thank you all. Thank you all for being patient this evening with us too and staying later. I really appreciate you all. So a little bit of context, of course. I'm a widower, and in my relationship, I was together.
So if I could just have like examples of great men in the community, everyone. They're examples. They come to events. They're here. Just want to make sure everyone can see you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. We were together for 15 years, and it was wonderful. And then since then, I was in an abusive relationship for 9 months. And so I've been living kind of in between. I've been doing this spiritual work, and I'm on this journey. Not quite sure yet if I'm a starseed or an indigo yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. But I've been living in between, because that's what happens when you lose somebody. And so I've noticed now that I keep raising my frequency, that I'm also living in between. And so I was curious what your perspective might be, or what your feedback might be. And in these next steps, should I go into another relationship, what that might look like, what that might feel like, because what's speaking to me is to go back to a place where my late partner was, and that's where there's a lot of history, a lot of trauma too, but a lot of wonderful things there. But when I follow the astrocartography aspect, there isn't any connections. There isn't any meridians there that say, yes, this is where you belong. But in the felt sense, that's where I feel like I belong. So I was curious what perspective you might have for me. Thank you.
And I just, where in the world are you?
I'm in Nevada, in Nevada.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And how long has it been since that 7-month abusive relationship ended, or 9 months?
Yes, we're getting close to, next month will be a year
Okay,
that
great.
I was in that relationship. So I'm about a year out of that
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah, and are you, I know I'm jumping into some answers, are you able to look backwards and feel into the initial things that you missed with that partner and how it was not healthy, that you might have sensed and ignored?
Oh yes, definitely. See, I mean, I didn't want to, expand on it to take any more time, but what that was is the connection to humanity. Because after my late partner passed away, we went through COVID. So COVID, and I'm also a COVID survivor, by the way. That was exactly what grief and loss is, but it was on a collective level because we were all experiencing that. So instead of branching out, I went inside, and so I isolated more. And so when it became safer to come back out, that's how I ended up in that abusive relationship, because I was craving a human connection. And so I put everything aside, even though I knew there were flags there. I put everything aside to say, well, I want a connection, and that's what happened to me.
Yeah. Then and I just want to get more specific. And are you aware as you had opened and you still wanted connection? Can you see now some of the subtle signs that you missed? I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's important to be able to see those things so we don't repeat. All
Yeah.
right, great. We've got RoseMarie in, and yeah, thank you, RoseMarie. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Engelbert, you answered a couple of questions that I had. One about your late partner, how that relationship ended. So now, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a couple questions about how you felt in that relationship. Was it an exciting, loving, supporting relationship? And when you left, when they moved on, how did that leave you feeling? Because you also had the same thing that took them. And then I'll give you my kind of take and what I could recommend. Okay, if it's not too personal.
No, not at all. I felt definitely safe in that relationship. I felt, very taken care of in that relationship, and it was like coming back home. So I always felt safe there. And the reason why it kind of messed me up so much is because it related to sudden loss. Because when he passed away, it was unexpected. I had come home from work and I found him, and so it was just completely something I wasn't prepared for. And so I had to kind of jump into this mode of like survival mode, because there was an impact financially, there was an impact on so many levels. So I was just vulnerable. I was just out there, and so I had to find my protection. I had to find my peace. I had to find my bearings, and I had to find myself. And that's only been recent, actually, because I felt so connected to this person. So yeah, it's been definitely a journey. And so in this work that I'm doing now, and I try to meet people, I find that I see, souls now. I see people, but I also see their soul first. And it kind of makes me feel disconnected at times, because I feel like, okay, great, I'm on this higher frequency. What does that mean? So it feels empowering, but it feels also isolating at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I keep, I keep connecting to a higher vibration.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is I'm also connected to him as well, more than ever. But instead of it being in that grief and loss mode, now I'm connected to more of the happier memories and happy connections, and I can actually hear him, whereas before, when I was in my grief, I couldn't hear anything. So
Absolutely. Well,
yeah,
first of all, I just want to say thank you for sharing that with us. That could be traumatic on so many different levels, you know, from losing someone to suddenly coming home and finding them that they're no longer with you. But it sounds like that was a very, very close connection with you. That was your safety, your security, your hope for the future.
that's
I just want to say celebrate that. And instead of trying to replace that, honor that. And what will happen is you will allow yourself, that love that you felt for him will begin to sprout again in you, instead of trying to just go in and replant, you know, another tree in that field. Let that field heal. Love it, nurture yourself, honor that memory. It will begin to change inside. And so when you begin to connect with someone else, it won't be out of desperation or a need to fill something, because you've already allowed that healing to begin. And that you really need to work on that before you start trying to plant. And I like using the planting the seed, because it's a very good image of, you know, taking something, putting it into a foundation of growth, and then watching it sprout and then grow into something strong and something that you can rely on. And that's, I can tell from what you've told me, that's what you had there. And it's like your tree was just uprooted, you know, like a windstorm came and just took your tree, and now you've got this big hole. What are you going to do? So heal that hole, nurture it, heal yourself within, honor that relationship, because that's a loving relationship. You'll never be able to replace it, because you'll never be able to replace them, but honor the emotion and the support that you both felt, and you'll be able to develop that and then deliver that to someone else.
thank
Hope
you
that
so
makes
much.
sense, someone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, RoseMarie. We've got Crystal, then Gina, then DoveLight.
Hi. Thank you for sharing your story. I'm getting a couple different things. There still feels to me like there's some underlying grief that you still need to clear. And it goes back to when you lost your partner. Even though it's been a while, and then you had that negative relationship you're in, you went into that negative relationship looking for healing, looking for consolation, looking for someone to hold you, to be with you, to help you heal this pain that you have, this grief, this loss. So that's, at least that shows to me that that still exists, and that other person didn't help matters any, because that wasn't even addressed. So in a way, you were kind of grief blind when you went into that relationship. It wasn't a partner kind of thing in a way. There was all this grief still, this healing, this wounding that you wanted to have someone help you heal. And the piece about that, you're not going to be able to create the same relationship you had with your former partner. It's going to maybe have similarities to it, or you're looking for a similar feelings to have, but it's going to show up in a different way. So sometimes when we have when we've had that deep connection, we're looking like for the same thing. It's like that favorite pair of shoes. I want to find those shoes again someplace. I keep looking for those shoes. And then the other shoes that might feel just as good on your foot, but not look the same, we aren't as open to that, because we're looking for that one thing that we had. So I would encourage you again to do that wounded, that healing work, that loss work. And there's also some guilt around that you'll be letting your passed on partner go if you get into a new relationship. And he's just laughing his butt off when I'm saying that. He's like, oh no, I'm sticking around. I want to see how this turns out. He's like, he's wanting you to have that relationship. He's totally supportive of it. And he's walking with you through this whole thing. So Yeah, so please, he's saying the same thing. Set that guilt aside. It doesn't tarnish what you had with him any way, shape, or form by becoming involved in a new relationship. In fact, he kind of showed you what was possible so you could even grow to even consider. In a way, you're honoring him if you get into another relationship that's quality like that one was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's amazing.
Great. Thank you, Crystal. Gina's next.
Hi, Engelbert.
Hello.
I'm just sitting with what Crystal said and a lot of affirmations of that. And it sounds like you had some too from that, some feelings of truth. What keeps coming up for me is how the words disrupted and the words timeline.
Mhm.
And so much of what you shared and the timing of it with COVID and with grief and with isolation and with sudden loss and all of that, I think about the words like disrupted grief. And I think about, like, if I think of, things aren't on a straight, course, but if they were, right, it seems like that grief didn't have opportunities to make complete cycles in some ways. And so I feel there's a part of you, rightfully so, moving forward and really pushing yourself for what's good for your next chapter. There's also feels to be a knowing that there's some pieces that maybe you still want to collect that are parts of you that maybe because of the disrupted grief, you didn't get to collect some parts of you that, and I don't know if I'm just speaking, sometimes I don't make sense, but parts of you that got entangled a little bit with the grief, but they're actually yours. They're part of the love story. They're part of your heart. They're parts of you. And so there's almost like this invitation that by going back and cycling through or exploring a little bit isn't going to take you to a dark place. It isn't going to take you backwards in your life. It's actually going to let you take the pieces that resonate with you, that are parts of you in your love story, that you get to then move on with. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but the disrupted piece and the permission to not have it be some continuum that's like from A to B, right?
Mhm.
That there might be some weaving back and forth. And then I wrote the word, disrupted timeline, that even time, the timeline of how everything played out may be disrupted. And so being able to go back, okay, I see it's time to go back and really spend time on the timeline of the traumas and really understand the story. And there is some work that is done with trauma timelines. Again, that collecting, that having time to integrate that and letting the lows be there, but also the highs be there. And that's all part of who you are, right? That's part of your story. And so then as you bring those forward. So I feel like you're working on multiple timelines and multiple levels, including this higher vibration and all of it. There's many levels and timelines working. So I think digging into some of that could really, really help you become present and whole.
Wow. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much, Gina.
Yeah, thank you so much. DoveLight is next.
Right. I don't want to leave the Zoom room. Am I still okay? Thank you. I wasn't sure what was your question. I'm very grateful for you to share your story. If you wanted to move somewhere, if you want to go back to somewhere, if you wanted to let go somewhere, that's because when people speak, when I hear their voice, I'm start picking up information. So I wasn't really sure what was your question, but I'm very grateful and honored to listen to your story. I think one of the things that I'm strongly picking up is you have to be willing to trust yourself. You have to accept that your inner voice is going to guide you correctly. You cannot sacrifice yourself just because but you're trying to hold on into a fake sense of, oh my God, somebody's startling, like a spirit's like false sense of safety. They're telling me, no matter what people say here, beautiful, wise or not, you have to choose when you feel ready to date someone. And you have to know what is really that you really want in your heart. There is definitely no doubt that there is some healing to take place. You need to. What I'm picking up is there is need some grieving to do, some guilt to let go. That person was meant to live at the time who was meant to live. There is nothing that you could have done. For we don't understand what is the higher purpose. Things have to happen this way, but it is very important for you to find balance and not just to go outside like you're losing the value of yourself. When you truly love somebody, love is eternal. You don't lose them even if it's not physical. But we want to honor that it hurts to lose somebody, because yes, we don't lose somebody, but we do lose somebody, and those happen at the same time. I agree with what Gina said. Don't be afraid that just because you're becoming happy in the world, trying to look for your happiness, you want to let go of the previous relationship that passed away, because you are moving forward, and that part was always going of that person was always going to stay in your heart with you. Trust me, in the other side, they don't have to worry about rent, they don't have to worry about taking pills, they don't have to worry about this and that. They're more happier than whatever you could imagine, even though they are going through their same healing process. So if this person genuinely love you for who you are, as you are, and hold you, it will only want for you to be happy. I'm picking up that it was very sad. This energy saw you passing through that. There is a higher purpose for you. We're meant to pass in that, and it's to do not lose yourself. Do not lose yourself out of grief. Do not give that power to anyone. You set it your soul. You saw the red flags. It is about allowing yourself to have some balance. Okay, I'm grieving, but I need company. I want to breathe out, but I also need my me time to be with my memory. So it's easier said than done. But that's what I'm picking up. There is the opportunity to open a new path for you in whatever you wish to, including romantically, but there is some healing to be done, something that is still bothering in your heart about how the things with this previous person happened. So there is no doubt that there is forgiveness to be done. There is a sense of that you're waiting for something to happen, something to come. So yes, you can develop a spiritual gift if you haven't already do so, to talk to this person as your spirit guide. When the person in the other side will be ready, because time is not the same in the other side as this one, it can guide you to be your spirit guide. So you will feel like instead of leaving that person behind, that person, it's your spirit guide to help you where you need to go, who you need to meet. So now it doesn't become a betrayal of the memory, it becomes a helping force for your happiness. But it has to come from you. You have to know it. So you start blaming or hurting yourself for no reason, really. I mean, it looks like it is, but it's not really. So my recommendation will be continue upon your healing process. If you choose to do so, give yourself a space to bring some clarity. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much, DoveLight.
Thank you. Thank you,
Appreciate
DoveLight.
all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, so just a few more things, and then we'll go through and we'll share more just about who we are and how to connect with us. So I'm recommending that you continue with some community connections. It seems like connecting to community so that you have connection would be really important for you. And that could be attending things like authentic relating events or something else that is in groups that are doing spiritual practice or authenticity practice. That you might lead groups. I don't remember enough of what your work is, but leading some groups seems like it could be a good thing. Collaborating with other leaders to do things together, other practitioners to do things together. And that when you are ready to date again, that you bring in someone that's so solid in themselves that they don't in any way feel threatened by your continued connection to your late partner, where no threat or no challenge, and they support it. And it could be another practitioner, it could even be a medium. That someone that so supports you in this and doesn't feel scared at all. So those are some of the things that I would encourage you to do.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you all. I really appreciate you.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience waiting to the end. All right, practitioners, it has been great fun being here with you together. I love exploring a new theme and including new practitioners in the panel. This has been lovely. So let's go around again and share about who you are and what you offer. Tell us how to connect with you so that people that watch the video later know how to reach out to you online. We can go in a similar order as before. I think DoveLight went first, and then, so I guess we'll change up the order a little bit this time. We'll have DoveLight, RoseMarie, Gina, and Crystal.
Good night, everybody, wherever you are. Here it's almost, no, it's okay. It's almost 11. I'm very grateful and honored to be here. I'm DoveLight from DoveLightOracle.com. I have a special. I have a coupon. It's 2024 if you want 20% any reading for the new year, any type of reading or any healing session. You can find me at DoveLightOracle.com. Use coupon 2024. It was an honor and pleasure to be here. And thank you all, because I really learned a lot myself. Trust me, nobody has any fixed answer. Nobody stopped growing. I learned so much from everybody. So thank you all for co-creating this space. Thank you.
Thank you so much, DoveLight. RoseMarie's next.
I just want to say, I absolutely love DoveLight's energy. I mean, she just comes with so much. You can feel the love that she brings to every online event. That's where we've got a chance to meet and enjoy each other. I'm RoseMarie, and Avisha for Dragon Mastery LLC, where we teach spiritual awakening and lifestyle. Our focus is on personal mastery and using the esoteric sciences in your daily life. We are just launching our meditation and visioning kit to help people work through some of those issues that they may have and how to implement. It's a 7-day starter kit. It helps you kind of bring this into your life on a daily basis and help you with mindfulness. So check it out at adragonspath.com. You will see me on these online events. I love participating, and I really love meeting all of you guys, and it really warms my heart. When I leave here, I get so excited about the things I do, and I'm part that I'm a part of this community. My blessings to all of you.
That's great. And you're special today for if people want to connect with you for a consultation. Being here at this panel, it's 50% off. And there's information in the chat.
Yes, for the first one-to-one consulting, that's with me online, and we could talk about anything that moves you or that's keeping you from moving. So
Great. And that's dragonspath.com. And Gina.
Yeah, this has been so great, you guys. To me, I don't think there's a better way to spend an evening than to connect like this. So thanks for everyone for being here, and to all the panelists. Love hearing and listening, and thanks for all of you guys for letting us into your lives. It's really an honor. So I am in Portland, Oregon. I have an office at Tabor Space for those of you who are in Portland, which is in Southeast Portland, and I have a healing office there as well as an art studio. I'm also an artist, and I teach painting and do a lot of art in my work as well for those that want that. And then I also do Reiki and energy healing and mind-body counseling. I also work on Zoom. My website is nurture and then 3 healing.com. And I have a special that's up there, which I just wanted to make it really affordable for either half-hour session or for an hour session. I also work by pay what you can, and I always do that as well. So look forward to connecting through that, or if you just want to reach out and have questions, just go for it. Love to continue our conversation.
Great. Thanks so much, Gina. Since you had such a good time, maybe you'll be on more panels. And Crystal's next.
Hint, hint, hint. My name is Crystal Novak. I'm a psychic reader, conscious channel, and I also do energy work. I've been doing this for a little over 40 years. I consider it my life purpose. It's my work of service. And I focus on whatever is pertinent for you to have any kind of clarity or information on whenever we work together. And that comes from source, and then that translates into different entities or sources coming in with information. So that can be your higher self, your teachers, masters, angels and guides, helpers, messengers, passed on loved ones, ancestors. It just depends on who's getting chosen or who's the most appropriate one or ones that show up. And then it's the same for me. I'm in touch with my higher self and my teachers and angels and masters and guides and passed on loved ones and ancestors as well. So I tend to end up doing work that's usually based on clearing something from your consciousness that's a block. And it could be an emotional trauma block. It could be a physical emotional trauma block. It could be a mental perception you're holding that's causing discord in your experience. Because my belief is when you shift a perception, then you shift your reality. Because we are unlimited potential, limited only by our perceptions. So when we hold loosely to our perceptions, it gives us room to explore and to heal. And that's the kind of work that I want to support. You can reach me at openheartpathllc@gmail.com or my website, which is openheartpathllc.com. And at my site, there's a way to get a hold of me. I talk more about myself and some other different stuff that's on that site as well. So if you feel the call to work together, let's do it. And it's been great being here this evening. I've really enjoyed getting to meet a couple new panel members that I haven't had a chance to hang out with before, and that was really awesome. So thank you. Looking forward to maybe more future stuff like that. And thank you, Laureli.
And thank you so much, Crystal, for being available when I texted you to see if you could jump on tonight. And I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader, body psychology coach, and matchmaker. I read your eyes, read your body language. I sense and feel into your history and your past and your relationships. And my aim is to help give you guidance and insight that helps you be honoring and true to yourself, to live an authentic life, to choose people with whom you can live an authentic life. You can find out more about my readings at intuitiveeyereading.com, my matchmaking work at matchmakingsoulmates.com, and the archetypes that I read in people I call thrive types, archetypes for thriving, and those are at thrivetypes.com. I do drop-in dating coaching and matchmaking sessions. They're by donation if you come the first time, $20 or $16 for BIPOC folks if you come drop in afterwards. And I have super affordable $120 or $96 for a 3-month package. You can come as many times as you want. The next one is coming up on Sunday, January 21 at 9:30 in the morning, Pacific time. And then I also do authentic relating. One of the practices I love, I'm calling Authenticity Circle at the moment. They're authentic relating games, and I include those in my speed dating events. We're going to have one of those tomorrow as well as part of the MeWe events. And the Authenticity Circle is one big game of being present in the moment and in connection with each other. So connected with ourselves and connected with others is a great practice for presence. It is an active meditation. It's great for relationship and practicing being present to ourselves while we're in connection with other people. So great if you're looking to date and just practice meeting authentic people, being with authentic people, being authentic with people you don't know, and practice being with yourself as well as being in relationship at the same time. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming tonight. I'm so excited to do these events together with all of you. It's great learning and opening experience, and I so deeply appreciate being of service. Thank you, practitioners, for being here late. Thank you, people in the audience, for being here late. Thank you, everyone, for asking questions. This is what allows us to have these events. You can find out more about all that we do at MeWeFairs.com. And the 2 events we have tomorrow, we have Metaphysical Spiritual Speed Dating with Authentic Relating Questions, Sunday, January 21 at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, 2 hours, drop in, stay as long as you want, short as you want. And then Metaphysics Healing and Intuition Practice Circle is also tomorrow from 4 to 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Ideally come in the beginning, you can come late. It's to practice with others. There's a price to be there. It's really $5 to $12, small sliding scale. It'll be supported by other practitioners. It's an opportunity for you to open your intuition or practice the gifts that you're developing, get feedback from us as mentors. Thank you, everyone, so much. All right.